establishes more precautions for a Yid not to come to do an Aveda. Beis Hillel is not as concerned. Beis Hillel is lenient, and therefore we don't need that many precautions. If anything, you would expect Lasad Lavai, when there'll be no Nefesh Bahamis, no Yetzirah. The Gemara in Sukkah describes how the Shechita of the Yetzirah will take place. So what should be then? Then we're going to go back. We're going to go backwards. We're going to need no more precautions. We're going to go to the opinion of Beis Shammai, where things are going to become oster with all these stringencies. Why? You would expect Lasad Lavai if there's any stringencies, all the chumras of Chazal were made this manazeh that are not minatayre because of these siyagim. All of those things should be nisbat to Lasad Lavai. Instead, it goes the other way around. What's the pshat in this? That's the question. Okay, so we're going to continue in Sif Yud. The Rebbe is going to ask over here another two questions about the mitzvah of establishing the cities of Ari Miklot. I'm reading inside, page 574, Ois Yud. So first, let's explain what's the story with these three cities that will be added, the three Ari Miklot that will be added when Mashiach comes. Move on. So we have the following two questions. Aleph, number one, what's so unique? What's so special about this mitzvah of Ari Miklot that this is what expresses the chiddush that will happen when Mashiach comes? Ad kedei kach, to the point, shebezet tolui, toikif, nitzchias, avtachas biyas HaMashiach, shenases prat v'geda b'mitzvah Ari Miklot. When the Rambam wants to prove, where in the Torah do you find the union of Mashiach, one of the main proofs that the Rambam brings is from this mitzvah. Since this is a mitzvah, and it was never fulfilled, so it must be, we see that the mitzvah itself requires Mashiach to come, because there's no way to fulfill this mitzvah without the arrival of Mashiach. Why is it that dafke this mitzvah is the source in Torah for the arrival of Mashiach? From all 630 mitzvahs, all kinds of inyanim and themes, not a single mitzvah is chosen besides the mitzvah of Ari Miklot to prove that Mashiach must come to fulfill this mitzvah. Why is that? Beis, the question goes even further. You say to me, furthermore, the whole content of the mitzvah of Ari Miklot goes in completely against what the whole idea of the arrival of Mashiach is. What's the need for Ari Miklot? For a murderer, not b'sheigig, not b'mezid, but b'sheigig, but nevertheless a murderer that has to run away to this city of refuge. But after Mashiach arrives, there'll be no such a thing of one yid chas v'shalom murdering another. And it won't even occur, not even b'sheigig either. As we'll see in the footnote why that is. Maybe you would say that even if, of course, after Mashiach comes, it wouldn't happen intentionally, but maybe as an accident it could happen. So we'll see in a moment that Rebbe will explain in the footnote. There's a big discussion about this. What is the need for having cities of Ari Miklot? Even the existing 6 cities that the Torah speaks about before Mashiach comes. Was definitely to add more. We're concerned there are going to be more reitzchim, more murderers. So we have to add even more cities. 9 cities. When Mashiach arrives. This is another sikha where the Rebbe discusses this barichis. Look at the sikhas chelik chof daled. And there the Rebbe says perhaps it refers to people that this could happen before Mashiach arrives, and then they need these cities after Mashiach arrives. There are all kinds of solutions the Rebbe gives to this question. Why are we going to need Ari Miklot when Mashiach comes? But whatever the answer is, it doesn't matter. But the question still remains, why would this be the mitzvah chosen to express the proof that Mashiach must come? And nevertheless, mudgeshes, haftachas, biyas HaMashiach, by safas, shalosh Ari Miklot dafke. Where does the Eibishter prove to us that Mashiach must come? Dafke this mitzvah, regarding Ari Miklot. There has to be a reason for this. So in Ara 75, if you take a look, the Rebbe says, Hey mitzad ha'hoidig, this that it says here in the Sikha that Lasad Lavai, there will not be even an accidental murder. Shaygig. So the Rebbe says both mitzad ha'hoidig, the person that is killing, this will not happen. Shigam shaygig tzarech kapara. We know anytime a person does an aveda by accident, shaygig, he also brings a carbon, also needs a kapara, because it's a sign that there's some kind of klippa inside of him which is the cause of this aveda. If there's no vestige of evil in the person, it does not occur even b'shaygig. So Lasad Lavai, there will not be a possibility. The Rebbe brings right after the parentheses. Even a shegig is because the evil that lays dormant in the person comes out to the surface, and it comes out in this action that he does, even if it's something that he didn't intend to do, he didn't realize it's Shabbos today, he didn't know, and so on, but it still means that this is his Gabra Sarah. And also, the person that got killed will not deserve this. This will not happen, the Gemara tells us, why does it happen that Eibishter allows a person to get killed by accident? There's nothing by accident. Everything is b'ashgacha pratis. So the Gemara says, this individual that now died, what happened is, some previous incident happened where he killed somebody else. And he was chayiv misa, but there were no witnesses. So the Bezdin could not give him his punishment he deserved. And therefore now an accident occurs and he gets killed. But Lasad Lavai, such a possibility doesn't happen. Yidden will be on a level above all these things. So why are we speaking about such a thing, Lasad Lavai? Okay, let's continue a little bit further in Oisir Aleph, back inside the Sikha. Yeshleima Biyabanal. So we can explain this as follows. The Teire Yeshnam b'chlalos beis inyanim. You look into Teire, generally speaking, there are two aspects to Teire. Aleph, chamuda gnuza shegnuza l'cha. There's the source of Teire, where the Teire comes from. The Teire is precious, the Teire is hidden. Where is it hidden? In its source, by the Eibishter himself. In Yana Shalat Teire, what's really the concept of Teire? Shichachmasai Shalakadosh Baruch Hu. It's the Eibishter's wisdom, Shalamayla Mailam, completely higher than anything that we can relate to here in this world. Ella, the Teire descends below into this world. What's the essence of Teire? Teire is the Eibishter's hidden treasure. But then the other aspect of Teire is Masatiya Laretz. The Eibishter gave Teire, and he gave it to us here in this world below. Nisinasa Lamata Ba'aretz. The Eibishter gives the Teire to us. We could learn and understand and explain the words of Teire. The Eibishter doesn't just give it to us as a chayk, that you must do so and so, and a set of laws which you have absolutely no understanding and you can't relate to what the Torah says, just do it. No, the Torah gives a chochmeh lamata ba'aretz to learn, to understand. Nisinasa lamata ba'aretz, the point of the Eibishter giving it to us here in this world is kedei lifoil, in order to influence the world. That the world should exist and function according to the instructions of Torah. Both in the positive sense, asay tov, and both in the negative, by refraining from what doesn't belong. So those are the two aspects of Torah. The source of Torah and the Torah that's given here below into this world. It's the same Torah. These are not two different Torahs, obviously. The Rebbe says it's Beis and Yonim. It's not two different Torahs. The Torah that's hidden, the Eibishter's treasure of Torah, comes down many levels, and it reaches us, and then the Eibishter gives it to us that we can apply it and learn it here in our world. In more detail, this could be also explained that this is really the difference between Torah and the mitzvahs of the Torah. Torah hi chachmasai shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Torah is the Eibishter's chachma. When you learn Torah, it doesn't really matter if the words of Torah have a practical application or it does not have a practical application. That's not the point of Torah. The real idea of Torah, what's Torah? Torah is about a person learning to take the instructions of Torah, how to fulfill a mitzvah. That's not what the essence of Torah is. A person that learns Torah and he's really not interested at all in learning the Torah. Elamai, he has to do a mitzvah and he doesn't know how to fulfill a mitzvah. He got stuck. He doesn't know how to make his lulav. He has to take out a Shulchan Aruch, look into Shulchan Aruch, how you make the lulav. That's not a union of limudat Torah. You're not interested in learning Torah. You want to do the mitzvah of Daled Minim. So you got stuck, so you got to look inside the Torah. To some degree, that's called learning Torah shalei l'shma. You're not learning Torah for the sake of Torah. What's Torah? Torah is the Eibishter allows us to take his chachma into our brain. He opens up his understanding, his wisdom, his ideas for us to understand and learn, to connect. And when you understand something, that's the deepest connection that can be. When you understand Eibishter's chachma, that itself is a very powerful connection. Not because you're using the instruction for any mitzvah, just the experience of learning Torah and allowing the Eibishter's chachma to shine in your brain. That's the union of Torah. Then you have mitzvahs, Esa v'loisesa. The mitzvahs a person fulfills, the mitzvahs say, a mitzvahs loisesa. Hemerois laha'adam eichlis nag bailam. The whole idea of mitzvahs, and even within Torah itself, when you learn in Torah how to fulfill mitzvahs, so the Eibusher gives us a set of instructions, 613 mitzvahs, how to live life, what to do in this world. So as the Rabbi spells it out, you see in Torah itself, there's the experience of just learning Torah for itself. You learn a subject in Torah, and it has no relevance to action, which is just Yagdal, Torah, V'yadeh. You learn the greatness, the breadth, and the depth of Torah, and you get immersed into the subject of Torah, not even if it has absolutely no application to your personal life, it doesn't matter. Adarabah. When you learn Torah, sometimes the person thinks to himself, what does this have to do with me? Why am I learning this subject? It doesn't relate to me. It has no relevance to me. The answer is, who says that everything centers around me? Who says the Torah only means something because there's the me and there's something in the Torah that relates to me? Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you're here and the Eibusher gave you a brain and the power of intellect in order to apply it to the Torah. And the Torah is where it's at. The Torah is the Eibusher. The Torah is the nice and that Torah that's there. And you have an opportunity to take your brain and immerse it into that Torah. Go away from the me and enter into the Torah. That's the real experience of learning Torah, where you enter into the infinity of Torah. The Ein Sof, the Reish Kibbutz Chai, you just learn Torah even though you don't see any application to the me. That's one aspect of learning. The Reish Kibbutz Chai. And then there's learning Torah. Leida Esamaisa Ashiyasum Ve'ela Shaloi Saisena. Then there's the aspect of Torah, which is to fulfill mitzvahs. What do I do? What do I not do? And so on, using the Torah to improve the quality of your life. Beruchnius, begashmius, beruchnius, to be a mensch, to be a yid, and to be mekayim, to live in this world the way a person is intended to live, the way a yid is intended to live. So you're utilizing, or you're taking the light and the lessons of the Torah, applying it to yourself. It's in a way, it's sort of two opposites. If you read what the Rebbe is saying here, it comes out Torah and mitzvahs are mamish going in opposite directions. Torah is you are leaving yourself and you're opening yourself up, or you're entering into the world of the Chochmah of the Eibusher. And mitzvahs is exact opposite. It's taking the Torah and applying it to you. What's happening in your life, that to utilize the energies that you have in the positive way. So Torah gives you the instructions. How could you make the best out of your kaiches? What should you do with your life, the things you own, your chelik ba'olam? That's the two in Yonah. Now the Rebbe takes this a step further. When you learn the Chachma of Torah itself, even here, when a person is learning Torah and his focus is to immerse, to get the full immersion into the Chachma of Torah, it's not about the me, but Adarab. It's about entering into the Torah. But still, there's yet another level here. In the sections of Torah you learn, so there's a huge difference if you learn Nigla or if you learn Nister, if you learn Chassidus. What's the difference? Nigla the Torah mudgashes beikir ha'po'ole de birra ilam. When you learn Nigla of Torah, because the subject of Nigla talks about things that exist in our world. So therefore, what's the main focus of Nigla? The Pu'ula, the result, the effect, the fact that the Torah shows you how you refine this world through all the halachis, Issa, Hete, Tum, Metare, Kosher, Pasul, all these things that the Torah gives you instructions regarding things that are in our world, in our reality. Shulachain, Mikras, Ilona, the Tevera. That's why this section of Torah is referred to in Zohar as a tree, like the Eitz Hadas, Tevera. It's a mixture of good and evil. Why is it a mixture? How could you say Torah is a mixture of good and evil? Alter Rebbe asks this question in Tanya. How could you say it's a mixture? Torah is a mixture of Ra. Elamai, it's the section of Torah that relates to a mitzias of the world that's made up of Torah. Al Shem, the Rebbe brings Al Shem is slapshus levarer hatoiv mi'ara. This is the part of Torah that gives instruction regarding things that are going on in this world and how to separate good from bad. Lahavdol ben apostle oster va'atome lahakosher va'amuter va'ator, to separate between what's good and not good in all these areas. Even furthermore, the Torah gets into all kinds of details and discussions regarding arguments and money matters, where you have one and a friend that are arguing, and the Torah goes into the mind of the person, into the mind of the Ramai, into the mind of the Ganev, and what is he going to think when he's stealing? Why is he going to say it? Should we trust him? Should we not trust him? So the Torah is speaking from the perspective and telling you how the mind of a Ganev works. That's how low Torah comes to a person that's saying false tinus. To clarify, in order for us to know what claim, what argument can we trust and what we can't. And as this applies to all the halachas that are benadon lachaveda, which is the three mesechtas of Baba Kama, Baba Metzia, Baba Basra, that discuss all these money matters and all these issues. How do we resolve them? So as the Rebbe adds over in order 84, the Gam Halimud, that means even a person that learns a subject, a sugya, let's say you're learning a Gemara that talks about shar shenaga chasapara, the ox that gored the para. It's not anything that we can relate to or apply today. There's no shar running around. There's no para running around. It's not something that we can relate to today. So this is a subject in Torah where the Torah does not relate and apply. Adarabah, you have to just apply yourself to the Torah. But nevertheless, this is a section of Torah that's dealing with our reality. It's dealing with our world. So therefore, this is that part of Torah that came out of its source and it relates to our Metzias. Shenken is to the Torah. But on the other hand, when it comes to learning the secrets, the deeper part of Torah, Nekras Ilona Dechayim. The Zohar refers to this as the tree of life, Eitz HaChayim. The less Tamon Misitre Dera, because here when you learn Chassidus, when you learn the deeper parts of Torah, there's no side of Ra, there's no evil of here at all. Not even giving you instruction of how to take the good out of the bad. It just speaks about the Eibishter, all the levels of the greatness of the Eibishter. To know the Eibishter, that's the subject of Chassidus. So when a person learns Chassidus, what happens? Whether you like it or not, what happens is, if you sit and learn a subject in Chassidus, you apply yourself to it, so then you're going away from yourself, and you're going to discuss, and you're entering into understanding who the Eibishter is. It's not about you, it's about the Eibishter. I mean, the Rebbe says in other places here, the Rebbe doesn't take this as the next step, but in other places, the Rebbe says that even when you learn Chassidus, there's also two kinds of Maimarim. There are those Maimarim Chassidus that discuss the next part of the pasuk. What does it say after Das Lekei of Yecha? Vavdeyu b'leiv of Shalim. Serve him with a pure heart. There are some places in Chassidus where the main focus of the Maimer is Aveda, the Aveda Diga Maimarim, that discuss matters, how it applies to your Aveda. Then there are the subjects in Chassidus which just discuss Da Esalekei Avicha, what's called Haskalah. The Maimarim that discuss deep in Yonim about the greatness of the Eibishter. So many times when we learn Chassidus and you take a look at the Maimer, I'm not sure if you learned the Torah this past week, the Maimer of Pasach Eliyahu in Torah. So sometimes you open up the Torah and you start looking, what is this talking about? Where's the punchline? What's the Avedis Hashem? How does this apply to me? This past week's Torah, not one word of Aveda, not one. Just 2 weeks ago, Parshas Noach, you learned the famous Maimer about Alter Rebbe discussing the Tirdas HaParnaseh and the Balesek and how we could see Hashgacha Pratis and how the Maim Rabbim cannot wash away the tremendous love the Neshama has. Alter Rebbe uses such powerful words and it goes straight into your heart, and Alter Rebbe is discussing that the Nisyanis, the challenges that we have in life. So the interesting thing is, which section of Chassidus is on a higher level? If we could even divide this. So here, what the Rebbe is really saying is, when you learn a Maimer Chassidus, and the Maimer discusses something where it's talking about you, that's actually a lower level. That's the level of Chassidus which is relating to you. In other words, you're the center, you exist, you're it. And now the question is, how do I make myself the best, the most refined Oved Hashem? So the Maimer gives you the instruction. The Maimer talks to you and explains to you how to connect to the Eibishter. But then you have a Maimer, Das Lekei Avicha. The Maimer says here, let's discuss your Creator. Let's discuss the Eibishter. The discussion is not about you. There's an Eibishter. Let's discuss him. Let's talk about the godless of the Eibishter greater and greater and greater. And put your mind into it. Connect to the Eibishter. You're not the center of everything. So Adarabah, in a way, when you learn such a kind of a Maimer, it's not something which is less, it should be less effective. It's more effective. The whole entire approach, l'chatchila, I'm sitting down to learn such a Maimer, means that I recognize that I'm not the center of everything. So da Eibishter of the Welt, and I want to sit and understand who this Eibishter is. That's the emissary da'as l'kei avicha that the Rebbe is talking about over here when the Rebbe says midaberes b'inyanei elokus. Let's speak about the Eibishter. We don't have to speak constantly about ourselves. Okay, we'll stop over here in the Sikha, and then Mit Hashem, next week, Sunday, at 8 o'clock, we'll continue the Sikha.
No. You don't leave Farbrengen.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, First and foremost, tonight is the Yom Haledes of the Rebbe Rashab, Nishma Seiden. It's a Yom Zgula. Today we should give everybody Atzlache, Gashmias, and Beruchnias, Teva, Nirev, Nigle, for every individual Yid, for all Yidden, Rafua, Yeshua, everything, whatever you need. Teva, Nirev, Nigle, Lamata Masarat Tvachim. So we just...
Rabbi, can you ask some questions? A lot of these questions there?
When I'm finished the speech, then there'll be a Q&A. There'll be a Q&A. There'll be a Q&A. So, Bashkacha Pratis, we just learned the Sikhe, and the Rebbe mentioned the Indian of Eitz HaChaim. That is the section of Torah which is Eitz HaChaim. So there's actually a kuntris. There's a kuntris of the Rebbe Rashab, Eitz Chaim, Eitz HaChaim, which the Rebbe in Tafshin and Aleph gave out to every single person. Noshim v'taf. I'm sure there are many here that were zeicher to get it from Miyadei HaKdosh from the Rebbe. I remember the Chalukah. So if you think about it, the fact that the Rebbe gave out this kuntris to everybody, Noshim v'taf, is Be'emes HaPeleh. The kuntris, the Rebbe Rashab wrote this kuntris specifically for the Talmidei HaYeshiva of Tomchei Tmimim. If you look into kuntris, the Rebbe Rashab says he's writing this to explain to the Bachrim what it is it's demanded of them as Talmidim of the Yeshiva. And there's actually a big part of the kuntris where he explains about the Seder of the Yeshiva and even about how to learn a piece of Gemara, who their mashpia is, and about the Kabbalah Sale of the Yeshiva and the purpose of the Yeshiva. It's all about instruction to the Talmidei Yeshiva. It's like what would be called today. You go to yeshiva, you go to school, you get a handbook of the do's and the don'ts and the rules and so on. This was the Rebbe Rashab's. He explains here what's the point of the yeshiva. So why is the Rebbe giving out this kuntris to everybody, men, women, and children? All men, married, unmarried, yes, yeshiva students, not all women, and little children, everybody. Now, there was one year, I think it was Tavshim Mem Ches, when the Rebbe gave out a kuntris, a maimer, the Rebbe's maimer, V'shapti b'shalim Tavshim Lamed Ches, and the Rebbe gave it out only to shluchim. The Rebbe passed by, and the Rebbe asked a few people, there was one person, the Rebbe said, Ich nehm nicht für sich eicher. The Rebbe didn't give him. The Rebbe said, Ich nehm für sich eicher nicht. After the Rebbe used to give out dollars and kuntresim, the Rebbe also used to take for himself $1 and take a kuntris and put it into a siddur. The Rebbe gave himself, the Rebbe gave out something. This is not the pesed. This is amshache ruchnis, whatever, however you're going to teach it. The Rebbe used to take for himself a kuntris as well. But then the Rebbe said he's giving out for the shluchim. The Rebbe didn't take for himself because he says he's not a shliach in that sense that he went out b'orei asada. So over here, if the Rebbe is giving out kuntris eitz HaChaim, so the Rebbe can give it out to the yeshiva bachrim. Why to everybody? There's a Yid, my wife's grandfather, his name is Rabbi Tzviya Belerman, all of a shalom. So he told me many years ago that when he was a chassan, he was getting married, right before the chasana, he went in with his kala to Yechidus, as the Seder was, and they came in together, and the Rebbe spoke to them about different inyanim, from get to the marriage, the chasana, and so on. By the end of the Yechidus, so they were backing out from the Rebbe. So when he saw that his kala is close enough to the door, he went back to the Rebbe's table. He wanted to ask a question without his kala there. What's the question he wanted to ask? Not a big secret, but he wanted to ask a personal question to the Rebbe. He asks the Rebbe, wie bald als ich gehe jetzt rausgehen von Yeshiva, since I'll be leaving Yeshiva now. So, will ich haben Hadrache, I want to have advice and Hadrache. The Rebbe should give me a derech. What do I do now outside of Yeshiva? I get married as a balabas. So the Rebbe looks up at him. But then Yechidus, the Rebbe used to answer. He used to look at himself. The Rebbe would look up at you. The Rebbe gives a look up at him, and the Rebbe says, "Wer heißt dir rausgehen?" And who's telling you to leave? Don't have to leave. Huh? That's how I'm done. Yeah, that's given schon früher. The Rebbe made his whole chassan and everything. Yeah, okay. It's alva. It was alva. He told me he paid back every penny. Paid back every penny. I think so. I'm recording. I don't want to. I think it was alva. Anyways, the point is that wer heißt der rausgehen? The Rebbe sees us in a different light. When the Rebbe sees a chassid, when the Rebbe sees you as you are a child, and as you are a yeshiva bacher, and as you are 10 years afterwards, and 20 years afterwards, before you retired, after you retired, it's one mahos, it's the same person, it's the same neshama, it's the same essence. The location of life changes, the circumstances of life change, the challenges and the color of the beard maybe changes, other things change. But the etzem of who the chassid is, atomim. The Rebbe Rashab took his bachrim and said they're tmimim. What does a Tome mean? Simple touch. A Tome means he's whole. He's in Ganzen completely dedicated to the Eibishter. Every Yid, mitzad the etzem of his neshama, is completely dedicated to the Eibishter. There's nothing else that really matters in his life. So in a yeshiva, when you're surrounded by kaisli yeshiva, so it's easier to live a kind of lifestyle where nothing else matters because you don't have bills to pay, you don't have other daigas, and it's like the Gemara says regarding the Yidden that were in the midbar. Who could really learn Torah? Someone that has the man or living in the midbar. You have the man, you have the Ananiya Kovid that does your laundry, and you have everything the Bereshal Miriam, you have everything taken care of. So you can sit and learn Torah undisturbed. But the moment you exit out of the Ananiya Kovid, you enter into a world and you enter into all the challenges and the Mayim Rabbim of what goes on in the world. So what happens? The matziv externally changes. Your essence doesn't change. Who you are doesn't change. You don't have to leave. Leave means you're leaving behind. You're going to leave behind. Shiva experience or that Yeshiva experience means that essence, the essence of the Yid, the Tomim, the Bacher, the person that had that experience in the time when he was at his peak and his height, when he felt his neshama, he was immersed in learning or he was immersed in davening or whatever it is, that Bacher experience, that moment where he was there fully, that's not something that a person ever leaves behind. Just like any experience that a person goes through in his life, it always remains with you, and it always is there somewhere in your subconscious. But this is much deeper than that. This is your neshama. This is the very essence of your being. This is your whole identity. This is your name, Yisrael, the B'stayid. This is your very identity. To be a Tomim is the very identity who you are. So the Rebbe handed out this kuntris, Eitz HaChaim, to every single Yid, without any exception. Everybody was open. The Chalukah was open. Yeh Lubavitcher, Nishta Lubavitcher. The Rebbe handed it out to the entire Klal Yisrael. In the Rebbe's eyes, every single Yid of the entire Klal Yisrael is a Tomim. Every single Yid in the entire Klal Yisrael belongs to be here and is fully dedicated to serving the Eibishter the way it's described in the Kuntus of Eitz HaChaim. You might know it, you might not yet know it, you might live up to it more, you might live up to it less. It doesn't change the identity of who you are. It doesn't change it. The Rebbe doesn't leave anybody out. There's not more or less. It's everyone is all the same. There's different ages, different stages of how you express it, but we have to remember that. We have to remember who our identity is, where we belong, what's the MS, what are we connected to, what are we striving for, what's our life all about, what's our neshama doing here in this world. That's Chof Chesvon. Chof Chesvon is to stop and think and ask ourselves the question, where am I heading? What's going on with the Tomim that's inside my heart? What's going on with the Tomim, which is the true identity of who I am? Chaim l'chaim.
Can I ask the question now or not yet?
Sure, go ahead.
Why is the Rebbe Rashab, the only Rebbe, Chabad Rebbe, that we say Nishma Seid? What do we say in the other Rebbe?
Because the Rebbe referred to the way it was the times of the Friedrich because he was the last Rebbe. So they didn't refer to any particular name. They didn't refer to any particular name other than the Rebbe Shmuel. The Rebbe Marash was known as the Rebbe Marash. The Rebbe Rashab was the Rebbe right before the Friedrich Rebbe, so he was referred to as the Rebbe Shmuel when he started name. So if I make chazer of word of something that it says in the Kuntras Eitz HaChaim, it actually says a lot of things there. If the Rebbe gave it out, if you were zeicher to get it from the Rebbe, maybe take it out, take a look what it says inside. Not a bad idea. The Rebbe gave it out with the kavanah to actually learn it, to actually read what it says inside, not just to keep it with all the booklets of the Rebbe somewhere hidden away. To learn it, to apply it. It's a very, very powerful kuntris. There's a certain point in that kuntris that the Rebbe used to mention often. If you look at the Sichos, the Rebbe references this point of kuntris Eitz HaChaim quite often. That is, everybody knows what it says in Chassidus. The Rebbe in Sharichet V'Amunah, in the beginning of the Sharichet V'Amunah, points to this, that there's what's called Yichud Tata and Yichud Ilah. There are two different levels of Yichudim. When you talk about the fact, Einoid Mulvadek, that Eibush is the only existence, there are two different approaches. It's a big arichas to explain what this means and all the details, but just generally speaking, the idea of Yichud Tata means that there's a world that exists, that Eibush created, and this world which exists, the Eibishter is Machaya and Mahave, he creates it every moment, and therefore its true existence is godliness. But the world is a created being. The Eibishter created this world. Even if you say that the Eibishter is creating it every moment, but the Eibishter is coming down and he's relating to this Metzias. He creates this. He creates a world. So yes, the world is completely bottled and it's miyuchad with the Eibishter. However, this is a lower level of yichud because the world is far to Metzias. But then there's Yichud Ilah. What's Yichud Ilah? Yichud Ilah means kula kamei kala choshev. The expression that the Rebbe would quote often, that the Alter Rebbe says in Torah, Loi zehu ikra lekos mashehu bayra elamis. The Eibishter is not described by the fact that he's the creator of the world. You know, the Welt, when they speak about the Eibishter in Yiddish, they say the Bashefer, the Heilige Bashefer. Lubavitch is not the expression. Why? Because the Eibishter, the Bashefer, the fact that he creates the world, that's not who the Eibishter is. That's the biggest Yerida. The lashon that's brought in Chassidus always from Zoyar, Lav Orche de Malche Lishtoi B'Milad Yaita. It's not ordinary for a king to speak mundane words. For the Eibishter to say that Saram Amarais is a Yerida, he has to descend of his essence, who he is, and come down to create this world. Legabe, the true existence of the Eibishter, his infinite existence, the whole world is Kol Choshev, it's nothingness. As an absolute, it's not no significance, it's not types makom at all. That's the idea of Yichud Ilah.
So we are nothing. No, that's not true.
We are everything.
That's right.
So the Rebbe Rashab in the Kuntris, the Rebbe Rashab in Kuntris Eitz HaChaim says, the most amazing thing, a very powerful thing. Rebbe Rashab says as follows. Yichud Tata is a great level in Avodas Hashem. However, this is actually the level that Adam Harishen was on when he ate from the Eitz Hadas. When he ate from the Eitz Hadas, which is Tov v'Ra, this was his Avodah, which is related to Yichud Tata. And that's where the beginning of the entire downfall of Adam Harishen started, and from there everything went downhill. The only way a person can stay safe and above all the trials and tribulations from this world if there is a nukuda of Yichud Ilah in his life. Yichud Ilah says that the world is be'emes garnished. It's taka nothing. It's the whole world, everything that goes on in the world is completely not tevis makim. As long as there's any perspective a person has that the Welt is a pisfarta mitzias, the world is fart something, so then it is an opening for the person to fall, to go from there, from one thing to the next, and to fall into the lowest place in Olam Hazeh. There has to be a certain nukuda of Yichud Ilah, which is the absolute truth that holds a person above the entire world. That's what the Rebbe Rashab says. Then the Rebbe Rashab says, but is this really possible for ordinary people to live by Yichud Ilah, to live on such a level? So he answers and says that true, on a regular day, halavai, a person could live with Yichud Tata. Halavai, a person could live even with the most basic and simple awareness that every step I take, the Eibishter is with me. Halavai, we could live with what the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, Perik Memalav, Yini Hashem Nitzav Alav. Eibishter is here, standing right above you, Boichem Kloyes V'leiv, sees in your heart, just to live with that awareness. Halavai. Yichud Ilah means that you feel that when I'm standing in front of, if I stand in front of a king, so then I melt away in front of the greatness of the king. If I'm standing in front of the Eibishter, Melech, Malchei, Amlachim, to feel completely nothing, insignificant in front of the true greatness of the Eibishter, to live with such a hergish, is it something that people like us could live with? But the Rebbe Rashab says, nevertheless, mizman lizman, this emes of Yichud Ilah has to be there. 2 points. First of all, l'chol hapachis, to have the awareness, to know this concept, to know the emes. Even if it's not possible for you to live by it every single day, but l'chol hapachis, to have that foundation, to know that emes. And even more so, mizman lizman, to make time to focus on thinking about this truth, on trying to focus and connecting to this truth. Because if a person that was never exposed to Chassidus, so then the attitude, even the person that learns in the Welt and he learns all kinds of things, but soft, without having the Nekudas Emes of Chassidus, the foundation is that I'm here, I exist, and the world exists. Yeah, the Eibishter runs everything, and even if you understand that there's a concept of Hashgacha Pratis, and the Eibishter is involved in everything, and we're going to thank Hashem for everything, v'chulu, but it fart. But still, I'm nothing. I still am a mitzias. So my taivas are nothing. My interests are nothing. Me, what I want, my personal agenda, it's also something. Chassidus comes and tells us that if a person sees himself as independent, disconnected from the Eibishter, so then that's the source from where everything goes downhill from there. Of course, the emes is that a human being, a yid, Torah, mitzvahs, you're the most powerful thing that exists in the world. Don't misunderstand this. When it says that du bist garnished, it doesn't mean that you're meaningless and powerless and you're like on a skupa and a dresses. People can step all over you and you're nothing. It doesn't mean nothing in that sense. Nothing means in the sense that if you stand in front of such greatness of the Eibishter, so you, with your personal ritzainis, which are disconnected, where you see yourself as independent, and I don't need the Eibishter, that's the source of klippah. When you learn Chassidus, it gives you the emes, the truth, that the Eibishter is everything. The Eibishter is Ein Sof, and he's the emes, the truth of everything. That's one of the nekudas that the Rebbe Rashab talks about in Kuntras Eitz HaChaim. And like I said, the Rebbe Rashab says these very powerful words. If you do not have that nekudas emes, then eventually the person will trickle down. If you have that nekudas emes once every so often, a Yom Kippur, a Simchas Torah, a Pesach, a Chanukah, wherever it is, or it could be on a regular Wednesday, there has to be a time where you refresh that truth in your life, and then it can keep you going. But otherwise, so then you just eventually flow away. Azay the Maisa, Kapanim were Chassidim, and these things that the Rebbe Rashab speaks about, he doesn't just speak about them. See, one of the things about the Rabbeim, the Rebbe Rashab, the Rebbe, is that when they speak about these things, they're not just sharing information, they're empowering you. They're giving you this information, they're empowering you to do it, to connect to it. When you hear a beautiful speech that someone says, or if somebody comes up with a nice, beautiful chiddush, or even if he's giving you a beautiful, inspiring speech, fine, either you're inspired or you're not. And even if you are, you walk away the next day. No. When a Rebbe says something, first of all, the Rebbe is Reish B'nai Yisrael. He's your head. He is the head of your neshama. So the things that he says relates directly to you, because you are the limbs of the head of the same body. So it's not like some drasha, some nice idea that somebody's telling you about what's going on in Atzilus or somewhere else out there that the nish, I do relate to it, I don't relate to it. It's relatable because your head is this is what your head is involved in. And besides that, when the Rebbe says something, he's mamshich, he's drawing down the energy. The Rebbe talks about a subject, he's bringing down that inyan of godliness into the world. The Rabbeim brought down a koyach for every person to be able to connect to these truths. On our own, we have absolutely no power to relate and to connect to any of these things. In Chassidus it says, Alter Rebbe says in Teirei, Parshas Mishpatim, that the neshamas, most neshamas that live in this world are what's called zera behemah. The neshamas that are like behemoths. Behemoth, what's a behemoth? A behemoth walks around and can't lift up his eyes. We had just today in Ayem Yem. What is the word in Ayem Yem today? What's the taich of Shema? Shema means Su Marem Enechem. That a person has the ability to lift up his eyes. And what does Marem mean? So zen hecher, on hecher, to look, to see higher. A human being naturally doesn't know what it means to look out of himself. We can hardly look past our nose. We see everything we see is out of our own lenses. We see things, life is all the way we view it. We think we're seeing outside of ourselves, but we're just viewing everything from our own lens and from our own limitations. How does a Yid have a koyach to see outside of himself? How does a Yid have a koyach to be'emes care for another Yid? How does a Yid have a koyach to feel that there's an Eibishter? It comes from a Rebbe. It comes from Moshe Rabbeinu. The Alter Rebbe teaches in Lekutei Torah, or in Torah actually, Alter Rebbe teaches when it says, we say every day in Kriya Shema, V'nasati Esev b'sotcha levimtecha. That Moshe Rabbeinu is saying this in Mishnah Torah, I will give grass for your behemoths in the field. So Alter Rebbe, it's not talking about grass, it's not talking about behemoths. Moshe Rabbeinu is talking to the Yidden. Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, Behemtecha refers to the Yidden, which are Zera Behemah, and you're living life, and you feel like I can't transcend, I can't raise up my eyes to go out of myself. Well, a prisoner can't free himself. He can't ever rise above his own taivus, his own nisyonis, however much he tries to lift up his eyes. It's like a behemoth. He doesn't have the ability to pick up his eyes. And Asati, Moshe Rabbeinu says, I will give grass. I will give Esev. What's this Esev? Zokt Alter Rebbe, the Esev is a combination of two things. It's a Shem. It's the Eibishter's name, Shem Ayin Beis, one of the gematrias of when the names Yudke Vovke, Shem Ayin Beis, and the letter Shin. What's the letter Shin? The letter Shin is Das. Why is the letter Shin Das? Because it says in the Zoya, what's Das? Das is a mafteach. It's a key to the midas of a person. You could understand everything in the world, but if you don't connect to it, then there's no key for it to touch you, to move you. Das is when you connect to something, and that opens up your midas. The midas of a person are divided into three: Chesed, Gevura, and Teferes. So the letter Shin has three heads. The three heads is the three yods. That's the three midas of a person. A Rebbe gives a Yid the grass, the food that the neshama needs, that he should be able to connect. On our own, we have no ability to have any hergish of nothing. We have a hergish to taste peppers and whatever it is. That's our hergish. That's what we could feel. That's what we could taste. And Olam Hazeh. But the Rebbe, if you connect to the Rebbe, you mekayim the Rebbe's Eiros, you learn the Rebbe's Torah, and then we go in the Rebbe's ways that the Rebbe showed us, and we live with the Rebbe. So then you could live a getliche life. You can connect to the emes, the nekudas emes that the Rebbe gives us. And even if a person can't think about this and be a focus on this constantly, but mizman lizman, go back to that moment, go back to that time when you were standing by a Farbrengen by the Rebbe, or you were standing by Yechidus by the Rebbe, or you were in Yeshiva, you were a Bach. Go back to that moment and to relive that emes, that intensity, that nekudas emes, and that's something that we have to remind ourselves constantly and take it with us on our entire life, wherever we go.
Yeah.
L'chaim, l'chaim. He's coming, Rabbi Bluming. I have to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Gute Nacht.
Yeah.
I must say I'm not a member of the shul here, but there's a handful of shuls in Crown Heights that have Farbrengens like this. This is very. This is unique. There's probably over 100 shuls in Crown Heights, but
the other shuls don't have the same gaboy. We accept number the only one that is the gaboy. Bluming.
Everything you say is being recorded.
I'm Mr. Sure, how are you?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, Rabbi Bluming is on the way. He'll be here any minute. Before we continue, I just want to say a special thank you to the sponsors and wish them a bracha and atzlacha and everything for whoever it's a bit of shmam.
Oh, that's very good.
Whoever they should have all the brachas.
You'll ask me a few dollars for $3. I don't know what people
Okay. The guys that grab it.
Rabbits?
They grab it.
Moshe sein Schwager geht kommen?
No, Bluming is a shvager?
What? My wife told me this. You know who comes back?
No, it's Rabbi Heller's.
On this world.
Is there Rabbi Heller's son?
They come back as rabbits.
Sounds solitary after all.
Why? I don't know exactly why.
Is it because we had the David Shiva, we had the counter? No, Bluming.
You wouldn't have to wear glasses because that's one by the
Yes. And yeah, it went out already.
Would you be satisfied?
You made me at least feel good.
What?
Ich komme neben und 100 Jahre verteilen. Ich habe nicht verstanden, nicht lange mich mehr. So you gave me a favor. Ich gemeint, dass du da mal geschirrt
Well, this week is going to be a lot smaller and easier.
When's the kid is Shmuel started? Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday.
Wednesday.
Is that the question you want to ask him?
No,
He asked question.
He answered
already.
the question already.
Okay.
What's the reason why Nishma said there's only one?
Ask me roughly, he understands it better than I do.
Oh, come on.
As what? What was the answer?
He answered because basically when the Frierdiker Rebbe would refer to the Rebbe Rashab, he would always say, as his predecessor, Rebbe Nishma said, it was just the way he referred to Rebbe Rashab. So it took on.
That we know,
Right.
but doesn't answer why in the end we refer to her
Bottom
now.
line,
Because we paraphrase his reference. That's pretty much what he said.
Even now, because of the times of Tzemach Tzedek, he was the Rebbe Nevi'im.
Right.
So even though now there is separate Rebbeim, he still called the Rebbe in those times. There's only
Amy's pleasure.
same
Right.
That's how it came about that we call him, you could
Right.
say. But that doesn't explain why that is how we.
That's how he explained it.
No,
That's what he said. I don't
That's
know.
what he said.
Okay, I mean that's the only way to answer it.
What do you say, Rabbi Sanders? What are you saying? When would you have changed it? When would they have said, okay, let's
Not that they would have changed it, but the
They
bottom
took
line
on
is
that
for
lush.
each Rebbe that we address them in a certain way.
Referred to
There's a reason
Rebbe
for
Nishma
that.
said, and Frierdiker would say, Rebbe Nishma said.
You're saying
Not
that
just that it's because circumstances.
you're saying that
Exactly, circumstances.
That means because circumstance comes about because of a reason. It's not the fault.
Have Rabbi Sanders here, maybe to the story while we're waiting. Famous story.
Rabbi Sanders, you want to say a story to the club?
He was talking about the Rebbe getting up in inflation. The Rebbe gave out the Surah.
You can't go above the singing. So
What's that? What's that?
It's already small. Why?
We're talking about the Rebbe. The Rebbe gives out confession before it's negayah specifically to those people that he gave it to.
Okay.
Yes, on one hand, each person has to take it and learn it. But there's a meiser with a shliach who was once asked by a father that he should go and see his son. His son is getting married in a few days to a non-Jewish girl. Maybe he could go and visit him, talk to him, something. So he found out where he was, and he came to his house. Came to his apartment. Actually, he came there ostensibly to put up a mezuzah. And as he's there, this girlfriend walks in. She's staying there with him, and he happened to mention that when he was a little kid, that his parents brought him to 770, and he got from this great rabbi, he got a pamphlet. So the girlfriend says, yeah, and he doesn't let me even touch it. He says it was a holy man that gave it to him, and I can't even touch it. Good.
Wow.
So then he says, I'll go bring it to you. I want to show you what this is my treasure. And he brought to him, it was Kuntus Drushe Chasna. So he looked at him and he said to him, do you know what the Rebbe gave you? He gave you something to tell you that you have to marry only a Jewish girl. You can't marry somebody. This is what he gave you. On that spot, they separated.
Wow.
She realized that it's not her, and she walked out, and he quit. And he never learned the Rebbe gave things out. There's a reason for it.
Wow.
Each person, there's a reason for it.
Yes,
We may find out. There's so many stories about dollars of the Rebbe that end up who knows where, just when a person needs it.
Wow.
And an interesting mitzvah. I make a lot of plaques with dollars of the Rebbe. When I get $1 of the Rebbe, I make sure I have the person who gave it to me, their name, their phone number, their email address, as much information as I can. I put it in an envelope and I keep it in a certain place. And one day somebody gave me $1. Gave me $1. And I took it and I put it in front of me. Because I had to go put it away in the drawer where I keep the dollars that people give me. Every 2 minutes I look. I want it's not replaceable. Somebody caught my attention, was speaking to me. I got up, I came back, and then I forgot about it. 15 minutes later, I looked. It's not there. It's not there. I have videos. I have videos from all angles.
It's green, and that's corn.
And I went through, my whole family went through all of the videos. We have video cameras. Could not see the point in time when that letter disappeared. It was there, and then it wasn't there. But I was responsible. I had to listen. So I told actually it was a shliach, I told them that what happened. I don't have the dollar. Because of that, I'll give you $1 or $5. What shall I do? So he asked me if it's possible, he would like, if I'm already getting $1, if I have $1, that there's no writing on it. Usually when you got $1, you wrote down the date. And poof, I had exactly $1, which I never wrote on. And I thought of it many times. Why am I saving it and why am I not writing anything on it? And so this person asked me for it, and went, and I took that $1 and then put that into the bag and gave it to him. Huh? The other $1, wherever the Rebbe sent it, eventually it'll get to where it has to go. I mean, we know there's plenty of stories of dollars of the Rebbe that end up to a person like the story where somebody was becoming frum and she asked, it was her birthday. And her parents asked, what could we get you for your birthday? She said, I would like to have a Rebbe's $1. How are we going to get you a Rebbe's? I mean, how does this, you don't get. And boom, somehow or other in change, exchanging money, she got a dollar. The dollar said it was received from the Rabbi Rebbe on such a date, and that date happened to be her birthday.
Wow.
This is what happens with dollars or with Troy Rebbe. They always foil their pula. We don't know how, what, when, where, but that's how it happens.
Shkayach.
Yeah, it's all finished.
Yeah, just yesterday I saw a video where the Rebbe gave a bocher $1 and he told him, and it was very nachosen, this is abgeben to the Kala. So he gave it for the future. He didn't, like interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, my shit, by the way, we can find out today.
Can you speak up when we can hear you? Where the what?
When did the Rebbe give out $1?
We can't hear you.
Jim has a special number. If you call him up, he'll give you the number. Tell you when
The serial number on the dollar, do you know?
Serial number.
Uncle Sam's.
Okay, all my other dollars have the date that I got it.
I also had on my day.
Yeah.
I had a flood.
So to you.
Let's get $1, William.
I get it down.
Let's get $1.
Finish for me. Just to come back next. Everybody knows the Rebbe Rashab said before he was a stalker, said ich gehe in him the Chesvon was a reich. Officially, he said he's leaving Rosh as Chesvon. So we are zoiche to have all those Chesvon in Sfarim today, or almost all of those Chesvon. So many Sfarim. Rebbe Rashab, this is what he was referring to when he said the Sfarim was a reich, and the Rebbe has a whole sicha, and he was saying was ich eich means he's putting himself into this Sfarim. Through this Sfarim we have him, he himself. Just like the Abishah says, "I know nafshi ksavis yahavis." I put myself in the Torah. So Rebbe Rashab says this also. Ksav was ich eich. In the Sfarim, there's most of the Sfarim was Sifrei HaMamorim. There's only one Sefer Torah Sholem of Sefer HaSichis, official Sichis. But many of the Sifrei HaMamorim have in the back Sichis, that things that the Rebbe Rashab said, but a lot of them are that the Frierdiker Rebbe told over. So therefore they're not in Torah Sholem. But you can find them in the back of Sifrei HaMamorim. Also in Lashon Kodesh, there's two krochim called Torah Sholem. Those are also malukit from all the Frierdiker Rebbe's things that he says over in the name of the Rebbe Rashab. So I was looking at it, Tov Reish Nun Gimel, in Sefer HaMamorim, in the back, says a word. Just gonna find it in a minute. Here we go. Simchas Torah, Tov Reish Nun Gimel, Rebbe Rashab told over a word that the Alter Rebbe said. This is about Simchas Torah. He started singing Simchas Torah. It's about Simchas Torah. That it says, Chazal say, Habol Taher Messiah Noisei. Someone comes to become pure, then we help him. Hashem helps him. Then there's a word that you read it, Habol Litaher. If you come to help others become pure, then you get a special siyua, you get a special assistance from the Eibishter. But here it says, Alter Rebbe touched the word Litaher or Litoher is Miloshin Ke'etzem Hashomayim Latoihar. The pasuk in the Torah says Ke'etzem Hashomayim Latoihar. There means the brightness, the brightness of the clarity and the brightness of the Etzem, when the Shamayim is bright and clear.
Brilliance.
The what?
Brilliance.
The brilliance. Okay. So this is what the Alter Rebbe said, that the Habol time means you're looking to have that. What is it called? Brilliance. Looking to have brilliance. You know, how do you do that? Durch was kommt man zu them? How do you get to that? Durch tanzen Simchas Torah. Dancing Simchas Torah, you can get this great level of brilliance. Fine. This is what the Rebbe Rashab said over a word from the Alter Rebbe. Noch dem zok de tate. Afterwards, the Rebbe Rashab said that this, the Alter Rebbe said when you already had a couple of minyanim of aufgehodevete und gut durchgehorevete Chassidim. Okay, he had real Chassidim that really put an effort and worked. And then he said this. But then he said, mir darfen haben Mittwoch dicke Chassidim, nicht kein Simchas Teure dicke Chassidim.
Wednesday.
Wednesday Chassidim, not Simchas Teure Chassidim. Was heißt? So, he goes on to explain. He says that the Rebbe Rashab hat stark miyaker given. He held very precious. Die was seine given Mesunim und Pnimim. You know what a Pnimi is? A Pnimi, a Mosing, a Pnimi. If I'm not mistaken, when the Rebbe made the Kuntres Hayom Yom, and the question was, what should be the layout of the Sharblat? So the Frierdiker Rebbe suggested that the Rebbe should put on the Sefer Hayom Yom the same layout that it was on the Sharblat of the Rebbe Rashab's forum. And he said to him, the Tat is going to have Pnimi and Du is a Pnimi. You pay attention, you see, the Rebbe's Sharblat is the same Sharblat as the Rebbe Rashab's. And every Rebbe has a different type of design on the page of the Sharblat. The Rebbe's is the same as the Rebbe Rashab's. It started with the Hayom Yom. The Frierdiker Rebbe said, okay. So it says like this. Bale his pilus bilti miyushavim means not settled people, like wild type of behavior.
Look at me.
No, I don't know anybody here. Nicht gekonnt verleiden. He couldn't tolerate. He couldn't tolerate. Now you shouldn't have a mistake. He goes on to say, the Zach von his pilus is by dem Taten gewen sehr teuer. His pilus, excitement, was very precious by the Rebbe Rashab. Okay, a minute ago he said, Bale his pilus, he couldn't lie, he couldn't tolerate. But then he says, but the Zach von his pilus was very precious. Nor as the pilus is given with anemes, a true excitement. What does it mean, a true excitement? It came from the mind. It came from the mind. The mind got this excitement going. Oder, there's another option. Oder, the spilus von an ish haposhut. Was kommt mit zadat mimus. Okay. It comes mit zadat mimus. Then it's also precious. Aber his pilus, was ist gekommen mit zades pilus. Das hat gerufen chitzonius. If his pilus, the excitement comes because of excitement, that's how the excitement is generated. That he called chitzonius. This is what he means.
What?
This is what he means.
Still in the running.
Simchas teire dike chsidim. What did he mean by he doesn't need simchas teire dike chsidim? He meant die was feulen sich horven auf haskole und hasoge. Those who are lazy, they don't want to make an effort to understand by themselves, to use the seichel to understand the lakus and become inspired. Und sie willen jetzt sein mit his spoilers bei Alma. They just want to go where there's excitement, they get excited, and that's how they'll do it. So then he goes on to say, if the his spoilers is a result of seichel, then it brings a bechein, brings a result, a good result, whether it's in seichel v'hasoga or in midis v'hanhoga. But if it's a spilus that comes just from his siragshus, just from getting excited, this is called a haspilus that doesn't come from seichel, and this doesn't bring any bechein. It's just the hispilus and the rash, and it very quickly becomes cooled off, and it's as if it's nothing left, nothing there. Okay, this is a word that says here. This is a word that says over here. So, no, Reish Nun Gimel. So. All right, so he explains it very well. But this is Rebbe Rashab said this. I don't know if I'm not sure if some of it is the Frierdiker Rebbe's explanation or this is completely what the Rebbe Rashab said. It looks like it's what Rebbe Rashab said. And so this is what he said. his pilots are very good. Yeah, he's supposed to get excited. But it should come by Chabad, it should come either from Tmimus or from Seichel. So what does it mean? Simchas Torah Chasim. Simchas Torah is a very excited atmosphere. It's very good. It's a very positive thing, Simchas Torah. But if the whole excitement of the person comes from the Simchas Torah excitement, that's not much. It's not going to bring much. It has to be generated. It has to lead to the right direction, which is to go and have some Seichel v'Hasaga, learning, understanding of Elikus. And this is supposed to bring the right excitement that should really have an effect on you. And that's what we know is one of the Yonim of learning Chassidus is not just to know abstract in Yonim, is to learn in Yonim of Elikus, in Yonim of the Nefesh, in Yonim of Torah Mitzvahs, to get us to have a true excitement about being a Yid, being a Chassid, and learning Torah and doing Mitzvahs. This is all what it's about. It's what it's all about. So I want to share with you, I'm not going to give a share now, I'm going to share with you a few lines that I saw recently in the Maimer in this Sefer. This describes a little bit what the davening is all about. Dibra Maschel v'Somach Yodoi, Parshas Vayikra. Where is it? Let me find it. Vayikra. Weiter, I guess. Weiter. Vayikra. Somach Yodoi. No, it's Chayel already. Turn to the beginning. I'll find the page. Somach Yodoi. Kuf Pei Dalet. Or Kuf Pei Dalet. Oh. He's talking about davening over here, and he says, giving a description what davening is. It says, how does davening begin? It says, first thing in davening, you say psukim de zimra, where you say all kinds of psukim that praise Hashem. That's the first thing you do. What is the point of this? What's the point of saying praise of Hashem? The point is that you can meditate his boinenus bigdul asoyre insof. You can meditate on the greatness of Hashem. It's time to meditate on the greatness of Hashem. Take your mind and focus and meditate on understanding the greatness of Hashem. And if you do that, if you understand the greatness of Hashem, and you have hasoga, seichel hasoga, your mind gets it, that brings a rotzoinu tshuka also to the nefesh habahamis. To look at the beauty of Hashem, and have a desire to Hashem. If you meditate on it, focus on the greatness of Hashem, Nefesh Habahamis will also get excited because he doesn't have anything so great. And if you explain to him, every person has a Nefesh Habahamis, and when you use your seichel to understand the greatness of Hashem, and you focus on that, it's going to have an effect on your Nefesh Habahamis also. And that's one of the main points of davening. Because tefillah b'mokim korban tiknu, just like a korban is you take the animal and you bring it for a korban. Tefillah also is to have an effect on the nefesh habahamis. It's one of the main points of tefillah.
The Alter Rebbe in Torah Earth says that if that doesn't help and you have timtum malay, then it's on you. That's the shafar that Alter Rebbe uses.
Okay, now what's the greatness of Hashem? What is the greatness of Hashem? So he goes on to explain. Beginning with Baruch She'amar. You say the four words, Baruch She'amar v'hoya ho'elam. What do these words say? The Eibush said, and the whole world became. He said a word, so to say, he said one word, and the whole world became. He says, Ba'amira achas nivru kol ha'elamis. He goes on to explain that even though there's a Sodom Amoris, but really it comes from one Maimer. Sodom Amoris is just the protim, but the klal is koil everything. It's one Maimer. So, you pay attention to this. Baruch She'amar v'hoya ho'elam. He said, and the whole world became. This is a greatness that for us is unbelievable. For every person to say a word and a whole world with everything that's in it becomes, it's unbelievable. Okay, it's the greatness of Hashem. So you can say the words without thinking. You can say the words and pay attention to what you're saying and think a little bit about it. It's one thing. The next thing he goes on to say is the end of Baruch She'amar. It says. Yochid Chei Ha'olam Melech Meshubach U'Mefoyer Adiyat Shmoi HaGodol. What do those words mean? So there's a famous lashon in Chassidus that says, "Loi zehu ikir ha'elokus ma'ashem ahav ha'elomis." It's true that the fact that Abel created the world is such a great thing. But for us, it's terrific. For us, it's unbelievable. But for the Eibishter, that's not a big deal. The Eibishter, don't get excited. Say, this is Hashem's greatness. This is what He is. He's able to create the world, and that's what He's all about. No, this is a small deal for Hashem. This is nothing. This is what we say. Yochid, Chayei Lomim Melech. Chayei Lomim Melech means that the highest of all the worlds comes from the level of Malchus. It's only from a tzumtzum, a low level. Where tzumtzum comes the highest of the whole heavens. But the Eibishter is Yochid. The Eibishter is the one and only one. That means that even after He created the world, He's still the only one. That's what we say. Atahu. You're the same. Just like before He created the world, He was the only one. After He created the world, He's also the only one. Why is He the only one? Because all the worlds were created just from the level of Malchus, from Ha'ora Mitzumtemes. And therefore it's Kalor Chashiv, it's like nothing. Gabi the Eibishter, it's like it doesn't exist. It's bottled. That brings out even more the greatness of the Eibishter. The world is so great, but the Gabi the Eibishter is like nothing. So you can imagine how great the Eibishter is. It brings out more the greatness of the Eibishter. Then he goes on one more thing. Even the level of Hashem that you could praise and praise and praise and never get finished. Even this is only Shmoy HaGodl. It's only His great name. But He Himself is above that. You never get there. So that brings out even more how great the Eibishter is. Okay, he's teaching the words of Tefillah to be able to meditate and get excited a little bit in the Moyach, in the Hasoga. The Moyach, and if you think about it and you say it every day and you think about it again and again and again and again, it's going to have some positive effect, to have true excitement that will last. Then he goes on to say, we say, Ashrei ha'om shekochaloi, Ashrei ha'om sha'Hashem aleikov, Ki Yaakov bocha loika, Yisrael is gulosoi. All kinds of psukim. The Eibishter chose us to be His nation. This is called. Then we say Lebnei Yisrael am kroivoi. The Eibishter took the Yidden and made him His close people. So the whole world. Yehalu Hashem Hashem kiniskav Shmuel levadei hoydei al eretz v'shamoyim v'vayorem keren li'amoy tehilul chal chasidav Lebnei Yisrael am kroivoi. We're His close people. He brought us close to the Shem Havaya. The world is connected with Shem Elikim. The Eibishter took the Yidden, they lifted them up, and He connected them with Shem Havaya, which is above the world, higher than the world. So we bring out here how the Eibishter chose us and elevated us, and brought us to such a high level. That's another point that we mentioned in Psuki. Fine. Then we get to Birchas Yotzei, the brachas before Krishma and after Krishma. And then we say before Krishma how the Malachim, the Srofim, and the Ifanim, and the Chayes HaKodesh, how they get excited about Hashem. What's the point of this? So he says this has a direct effect on the Nefesh HaBahamis. Why? Because it says that the Nefesh HaBahamis, the root of the Nefesh HaBahamis is from the Shmorei HaIfanim. It has a connection with the Ifanim that are, Shmorei HaIfanim means the waste of the Ifanim. So if you speak about, and you mention how the Shoirish and the market of the Nefesh HaBahamis is so excited about Hashem, that it has an effect on the Nefesh HaBahamis also, because he comes from there. It's very Nasa Habitl b'Nefesh HaBahamis Gamkein. It also affects Nefesh HaBahamis. Fine. Then we go on, we say, Abba Sa'elam Haftonu, Hashem Lekeinu, Chem Legdeila, V'Seira, Chamalta Aleinu. Eibishter, you loved us so much, and you have such mercy on us, and you brought us so close to you. What does it mean, Chem Legdeila? And then we say, V'Seira, great Chemla and more. Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, brings it here. More means more than the love that the Eibishter shows to the Malachim u'Tzva Maila. The Malachim and the Tzva Maila are very high level, they're precious. But more than what the Eibishter was Mekad of them, He's Mekad of us. Sha'arei hiniach HaKadosh Baruch Hu es al yoinim v'hatachtoinim v'loi bachar b'kulam ki'im b'Yisrael amoi v'yichid malchusi yisborach aleinu. He chose us to be His people. And He took us out of Mitzrayim, and He split for us the Yamsuf, and He gave us the Torah. What happens when you say all these things? He says like this: You become besimcha. Now look what we have. We have this connection with Hashem, and this relationship with Hashem. And this is what we say: Yismach Yisrael ba'Isaf, Bnei Tzion Yogilu Malka. And what happens when you have that? Al yedei hasimcha shesomeach be'elokus, hariu nimshach acharav. Then you want to, when if you're happy with Hashem, then you feel, I want to have a connection with Hashem. All right, there's a few words here. That's just a few words that's mentioned here. This page Chof Pei Ches. It goes on further and weiter noch Sachen, but I'll just give you a little taste. The Torah of the Rebbe Rashab, where he inspires us to have the proper understanding of the words that we say, to be able to focus on it, to be able to think about it. And we have the seichel v'hasoga. It's not some excitement that comes and goes. No, I'm talking about excitement that comes and goes. I'm talking about have what to think about, have what to pay attention to. And again, every day you daven. You don't daven once, you daven every single day. On a mitvach, is a mitvach chasidim. You daven every day and pay attention to the daven, and you try to make something of the davening. And davening is supposed to be an experience every day. And this is the way we're going to be chassidim. We're chassidim. We're not some people. We're chassidim. And this is some kind of in Torah Sholem. There's a lot about avoida. He doesn't make it sound simple at all. He doesn't make it sound simple. He says a lot of places in Torah Sholem, there's a big effort. It takes a big effort. It's hard. It takes difficult. It takes time. It takes work. It takes years. Whatever. Okay, fine. But we're not focusing on that now. We're focusing on me'at. A little bit. Do a little bit. Another little bit. Another little bit. But do something. Do something. Chassidim, we gotta do something that Chassidus demands of us. Okay, we're not shaykh to do many hours at once or whatever, like Amol Chassidim. But we do something to get the light of Chassidus, not to be spoilers Chassidim chitzonius. That's once in a while we get excited by a Farbrengen, by a Eis Rotzen, by a. We like to get excited. It's good. It's fine. It's better than nothing. No question about it. But we are Chassidim. Chassidim means that we do something. We try to do something to be Chassidim and to be Matzliach. And we have koiches. We have koiches. And this is one of the days. Yom Haledes of a Rebbe. It says in the middle of Rebbe, I think says this, that Yom Haledes of a Tzaddik and the Frat and the Shama Kolis is a Yom Tif and alle Eilemis. And there's a Eis Rotzen. So there's a lesson from the middle of Rebbe. I think Friedrich Rebbe brings it, but it's a Yom Tov and alle Eilmes and Eis Rotzen. So it's a special day that gives koyach, and we should be influenced, inspired, and have koyach to accomplish. The Rebbe always said, "Hamaise hu ha'ikir." The Rebbe wants. How many times did the Rebbe say, "Hamaise hu ha'ikir"? Hamaise hu ha'ikir. The Rebbe wants maise, and we have the koyach to do this because this is what the Rebbe demands of us. Then we have a special. Seeing us koyach to bring everything down into maise b'poil, not just remain in abstract. Somewhere we have the koyach to bring down everything in meiser poil. Chaim live.
Ashreinu matechel keinu Eumanoim Beinoleinu Eumayafa Yafa 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 Yerushaseinu Ahaya Ayaya 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 Zero is progression. You come to Kaddish Havaya, you're displaying Kaddish Havaya, then brings you to the oster, which is after the Shabbat, and then the bracha Yitzchak, these are all the oster. That's what it brings you to. If you do it right.
Chaim Levrocha. Chaim Levrocha. Chaim Levrocha.
It does. It does. It has two extras. Three dollars.
Very good, by the way. It's very smooth.
This is it. What else do you want?
Chaim. Last night, I am a Maggid Shir Oli Torah. So last night they showed a video of the Farbrengen of Chof Chesvon Tafshin Mem Hey. So they showed the first Sikha, which was about a half hour. So the Rebbe says that Yom Hiledes of the Rebbe Rashab, Yom Hiledes is Mazoli Goiver. Every person that says Yom Hiledes, a person is Mazoli Goiver. What does Mazoli mean? The mazel? Mazel is the mazel of the neshama. And the neshama flows down from above. It says in many places, Loi kol ha-neshama mislabeches beguf. Only ha'oras ha-neshama, miktzas ha-neshama, a little bit of the neshama comes down into the guf. But the main high level of the neshama remains up there. And from there, it flows down into the person. So the mazel ha-neshama is a very high level. That's l'mayla mizmanu mokim. L'mayla mizmanu mokim. Mazel ha-neshama l'mayla mizmanu mokim. And on the Emeledis becomes his gabrus ha-mazel. The mazel ha-neshama, which is a high level by itself. It's the high level of the neshama. That's l'mayla mizmanu mokim. It gets at his gabrus. The Rebbe says that's understood that this is gabrus, this great strength that is added to the mazel ha-neshama. Since it's the ma'ila mizmanu mokim, it's not limited to the day of the Yom Haledes. It's not even limited to the year of that birthday. So therefore, the Rebbe said, last year Chof Chesvon, when it was this Gabrus Hamazel of the Rebbe Rashab, that's still going on. That didn't fade. It didn't fade away. It's not that it just lasts until now, and now you have to get it going again. So it's a new Gabrus Hamazel. No. It's so powerful. It's the Mailim is Manu Mokim that it keeps on going, even past this Chof Chesvon. So then, what is the point of this Chof Chesvon? It's a higher his Gabrus Hamazel. It's not the same one as last year.
It's a higher level of his Gabras Hamazal. And then they never brought the example that when talking about legal something that's above the limits of Zman and Mokim, how's it try higher? They brought the example of B'chol Me'oidecha. In Krishma you say, B'chol Vavcha, B'chol Nafshecha, B'chol Me'oidecha. B'chol Vavcha, with the holy heart, and both the Shnei Yitzarim. B'chol Nafshecha is the Neshama that's higher than the Nefesh HaBahamis. But then there's B'chol Me'oidecha, which means more than Me'oid. Me'oid means more than you or Kalim are containing. B'chol Me'oidecha, there's the concept of Avodas Hashem in the Yid, to go out of your limitations, believable in the person. Shaykh. So the Rebbe said like this: you said already, b'chol meidecha in Krishma shel Shachris. Un as that halted by, and if he lived up to what he said, and then comes a few hours later, the end of the day, in Ma'ariv, he says again the Krishma and b'chol meidecha. You said already in the morning, b'chol meidecha Shachris, and you went and you halted by. You halt the Bible starts from the Hagbolis. So what's shaykh to go out weiter? You already went out of the Hagbolis. What's shaykh to go weiter out of the Hagbolis? Teretz is the hechere Hagbolis. Out of the Hagbolis means in a certain level, but then there's higher Hagbolis. It's higher level of going out of higher Hagbolis and higher. That's the only Yetzias Mitzrayim is an ongoing thing. Hareis came from Hagbolis. Noch. It's higher and higher. So too. This is Gabras Hamazal. That it was last year, it continues. This year, there's a new his Gabras Hamazal. That's new and higher than last year. So it's additional koyach that we get. And therefore, the Rebbe says, so therefore, all the additional koyches that we get should be brought out. And an additional hatzlach in Maisa B'Poil and Maisa O'ikir. And then the Rebbe said there's another point. The other point is, that the Alter Rebbe says in the Geras HaKodesh, this is something that Rebbe mentioned so many times. And Geras HaKodesh, Alter Rebbe says that every Rosh Hashanah is Nimshach Ha'or Chodosh Elyon Shaloi Hoya Me'olam Or Elyon Kazeh. Every Rosh Hashanah is a new Hamshach. It's not that we know that it says in Chassidus that every Rosh Hashanah is Nimshach Chayas for 1 year, and when it comes every Rosh Hashanah, the Chayas goes back to its source, and therefore we need a new Chayas to come. But this new Chayas is not just another Chayas. It's a higher level it's brand new. It's a higher level that never was here before. That's what it says in Tanya in the Geras HaKodesh. So the Rebbe says that that's the Rosh of the Shana. And therefore, all the Yomim Protim of the Shana that are Makabel from the Rosh also is not the same as last year. It's not the same as last year. He said we already had a Chesvon, we already had a Chof Chesvon, and then it's again Chesvon, again Chof Chesvon. It's not the same as last year. It's a Chodosh, it's Elyon Yosef. That's the way to look at it. In Yiddish, by Yiddishkeit, nothing is a repeat. Nothing's a repeat of what was already before. It's all higher and newer. It's Chadoshim. It's a Maimah Chazal. B'chol yom yivunecha kachadoshim. Biz Chadoshim Mamish. Rebbe said so many times this. Tu neschois. B'chol yom yivunecha kachadoshim. Biz. Another gear says Chadoshim. Chadoshim Mamish. Because it is true. It is new. By Yidden, everything is really brand new. It's a new Chof Cheshvan. And the new means that it's all about, everything about it is new. So the Chof Cheshvan is new. The Simcha that comes along with it is new. And his Gabras HaMazal that comes along with it is new. And therefore, the Rebbe said, this should give us koyach to accomplish new things that we didn't think we were able to accomplish. This is what I saw last night in Oli Toy Zal. First Sikha. What?
New patience.
New patience, new whatever you need, whatever is going to add in goodness and kindness and hatzlocha and going forward to greet Mashiach is called for, sure. So this is one of the things that the Rebbe explains by Farbrengen is this point. The Rebbe explains many times by Farbrengen the greatness of this man and the greatness of what's going on and the great koiches that come, but the Rebbe doesn't stop there. And this should bring to a great achievement and an increase in Maisa, in actions, in Maisa, in doing good things and accomplishing good things and spreading Torah, spreading Yiddishkeit, spreading Chassidus, bringing Mashiach, and all the good things. And that Mashiach should come with Poel Mamish. So, of course, it was happening. Mashiach, that's bringing Mashiach, and the Mashiach is all coming. You know, the Rebbe lately, in the last Sichas, the Rebbe spoke about the fact that we did everything to bring Mashiach. And all that you need is the Mashiach should come. So that should happen also. Mashiach should come. If last Chof Cheshvan didn't accomplish it, this Chof Cheshvan should accomplish that Mashiach should come. The Poel Mamish, the Korev Mamish. Chaim.
You know, no, 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 no. You know, no, 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 no. Oh, you know, no.
So however the Sefer Kovetz Hakel, I don't think you could get it today. This came out in Tafshin Nun Hey, Today there's probably Svarim that are thicker than this that have all the Rebbe's Torah on Hakel. This I have since then, but this has the Yiddish Sichos in Yiddish. The newer ones probably everything is in Ivrit. But okay, here there's a letter that the Rebbe wrote on Zayin Mar Chesvon Tovshim Memalef. Tovshim Memalef is Shnas Hakel, and Memches was Shnas Hakel. So Tovshim Memalef, the Rebbe made a big studim. That's the year that the Rebbe started saying Asicha every night Sukkos. Shnas Hakel, Tovshim Memalef. More than the previous Shnas Hakel, as you could say, Memalef was a big dogosh on the Hakel. Then Memches, Memches is Achmamish given. Große studim on Hakel. So there's a letter that the Rebbe wrote on Zayin Har Chesvon Tovshim Memalef, and there's a hero bepoil here, looking for Ma'aser bepoil to do something about Hakel. It's interesting hero bepoil. This is in the middle of the letter. It said like this: Kedei zu verstarken und noch mehr unterstreichen, als Jiden seinen Hakel ein Kohol, to strengthen and emphasize the Yidden are one big kohol. Kohol is a group, like a group. Yeah. Wollt gewen gut. It would be a good thing. Ungor wünschenswert.
Worthwhile.
Worthwhile? Okay. Worthwhile. Wünschenswert. Wünschenswert. I guess it means worthwhile. As in Zugab to their fullster Avodas Hashem, that in addition to the complete Avodas Hashem, each person according to their special abilities and qualities, everyone equally should accept upon themselves, it's important to say bli neder, to do something additional in honor of Shnas Hakel, and that all the Yidden should do the same thing. Ton ein und dieselbe Mitzvah Sach jeden Tag von Jahr. To do the same mitzvah, all the Yidden should unite in doing the same mitzvah each day of the year. And then there's a dogosh und mit simcha, and should be with joy und mit simcha. Azach was a shovel chol nefesh, and this is equal for everyone. So what is it? One thing is in limud and one thing is in ma'aser. Limud is learning an Indian from Parshas HaShavua. That all Yidden should each day this year learn an Indian of Parshas HaShavua. So if you say the Shir Chitas, you're doing it anyway. But if you don't, this is a call to all Yidden. That's an Indian of Hakel, even if you don't say Chitas, but learn every day Indian of Parshas HaShavua. See, it doesn't say Dafke till Sheni first day, second day, but make sure in Parshas it's easier to get to many people this way. Tell them, let's unite. It's a good thing. The Parshas. Let's learn the Parshas.
So all Yidden have the same.
Yeah, all the Yidden have the same Parsha of the week. Right. It's an easy thing to get everybody excited, interested. Oh, it's a good thing. Yeah, let's make sure to learn every day this year Hakel. All the Jews will do the same thing. They'll learn something in the Parsha every day. All right? And the second thing is to give tzedakah. Erev Shabbos v'Yom Tov, oich for Shabbos and Yom Tov. U'ma toiv in a mispor fun 10. So a good thing should be a number of 10, like 10 cents, a dime. Behessen zu die 10 Sugim von welcher stellt sich zusammen der Kol von Yidden. It says, Roshechem, Sheftechem, there's 10 types of people, 10 types of Yidden that are listed in the Pasuk. Stellt sich zusammen der Kol von Yidden. So everybody should give each day a coin for tzedakah because it's Hakel, and we want to all do the same thing and learn something in the Parsha. This is what says Ahira in this letter. And then he says, Torah is doch Pikudei Hashem Yeshorim B'samchei Leiv. If you learn Torah, it makes you happy. And the Zoyich Tzedakah is Pikudei Hashem B'samchei Leiv. It makes you happy. So it's going to add simcha, because before he made an emphasis on the simcha, and he's saying that when you do this, if you learn some more Torah and you give tzedakah, it's going to make you happy. It's going to make you with simcha. Then, after this, there's a few lines in bold letters. A few lines in bold letters. See, like there's a paragraph here in bold letters in the middle. So it goes like this. Die Nekude behanal. What's the point? Farbrengen und madgish sein bechaye yoim yoim von dem Shnas Hakel. To emphasize and express in each day of this year of Hakel the simcha. Express the simcha. What's the simcha? Simcha shel Torah u'mitzvah v'avodas Hashem. Simcha that comes from learning Torah and doing mitzvahs and serving Hashem. A Yid is always serving Hashem. And in them vereinigen alle Yidden. I try to unite all Yidden to be even part of this. Ha'anoshim v'anoshim v'ataf vereinzigen sie in hakol godel. Koil v'simcha peiretz geder. The Rebbe wants that the simcha should break the barriers. Koil the gedorim from Golus. And the Rebbe said, "Mezet begolui as die Welt schockelt sich und treiselt sich als mehr und mehr." There were a number of times that the Rebbe said this, that the world is shaking, it's trembling. People didn't know about this, but the Rebbe saw this happening. The Rebbe saw what's going on in the world. Sometimes the Rebbe said, dimension, a person sitting somewhere is able to press a button and destroy Rahman al-Zan.
Some of the nuclear conflict.
Yeah, different things. So this Memalef, the Rebbe says, we see that the Welt schockelt sich und treiselt sich als mehr und mehr. So that's what the Welt is happening. But Yidden, der Am levodod Yishkoin, ist zusammen damit, was man hat gelehnt im Parshas für Zois Abrocha besimchas Teure und befarhesi und besimcha Rabba, weil Yishkoin Yisrael betach bodod, ashrecha Yisrael mikomoicha am noisha, Vashem mogein ezrecha. Then it goes on right away. Wie hirotzen as der Tonnen dem allem oibig geschrieben, ne mitzvah beteure euro, besimcha soll beleuchten dem choshech agolus, und soll sein, als in die letzte Tag von Golus ist schön lechol bnei Yisrael, hoi eure b'mei shvoisam, wo nor a Yid gefindt sich, weil jeder Yid ist doch amcha v'zoin ma yisecha am noisha b'Hashem. Fine, so it's a special hira to unite in doing something that everybody does, and the emphasis on simcha, to express the simcha that we have. So this was written, a letter that was written on Zayin Mar Chesvon, Tovshim Mem Aleph. So I looked a little bit into this, and I saw that in the Farbrengens of Parshas Noach and Parshas Lech Lecha, Tovshim Mem Aleph, leading up to this, this is Erev Shabbos Parshas Lech Lecha. So the Shabbos Farbrengen before this and the Shabbos Farbrengen after this, the Rebbe spoke much more and much stronger about this Indian, about the simcha that's necessary. So I wrote this down for myself over here in my little booklet that I have. In Parshas Noach, the Rebbe spoke about simcha, and he said like this: it's a davar poshet that is supposed to be ivdu as Hashem besimcha, and this includes everything of Torah mitzvahs that you do, and also all activities that you do. Kol masecha is supposed to be l'shem shemayim, chol derechecha da'ehu. It's also avodas Hashem. So then he says that means that simcha is supposed to be when you're eating, when you're drinking, when you're sleeping, and whatever you do, b'mesh chayim, make sure you do it besimcha. Was das ist die Hatzoh, als man soll tun, alle in Yonim mit welchem man hat nur zu tun. In Yonim Teiro mitzvahs geposhet, aber euch in Yonim Reshus, Achilo, Shtia, Veshina mit euch Simcha. Okay, this is the Hira. The Rebbe wants that we should always be happy. We should do everything we do with joy. Now, he said, wie soll man poil sein die Simcha? But how should you get the joy? Where are you going to get the Simcha from? So he said, is doch Pikudi Hashem Yeshorim Mesamche Leiv. Teiro mitzvahs bring Simcha. The far as mine Hatzoh, als jeder soll annehmen auf sich Belineder, moisif sein bechol yoim lernen, noch ha ois achas, oder posuk echad, oder inyen echad in Teure. Was das wird poilen an inyen von Simcha. Okay? Learn another letter of Teure, another word of Teure, another posuk in Teure. Add in this. And it's going to make you happy. Fine. Warum Teure is misamchi leiv. Und also moisif sein bechol yoim in mitzvah tzedakah, Poshut moisif sein in geben tzedakah, was euch das peilt Simcha. Und da ist nicht eine Gehe, die Kamus von Limud HaTorah oder von der Sinnes HaTzedakah. Und der Rike, was ist da eine Gehe, als der Ingen a Simcha bechol yom v'yom. This is what the Rebbe spoke in the Shabbos before. In Shnas Hakel, Tovshim Mem Aleph, in Parshas Noach. And then he brings an interesting thing. He brings us a mocker. If you want a mocker, it's a good thing. Hoisofa b'simcha. You want a mocker for this? It's a Gemara in Tainus. It's a Gemara in Tainus. The Gemara says in Tainus there was an Amoyra, his name was Rabbi Broika. Rabbi Broika, and he was often in the shuk, in a certain shuk in his town. And Eliyahu Hanavi would visit him often, this Rabbi Broika. And once, when Eliyahu Hanavi was visiting him, he asked Eliyahu Hanavi, are there any people here that you can see on them, they're B'nai Alma de Ossi, they're going straight to Gan Eden? Are there any people here that you see they go straight to Ilmava, straight to Gan Eden? So first Eliyahu Hanavi said no. Then a certain person showed up and he said, oh yeah, that person. And then two other people came. And according to one Nusach, Girsa, they're brothers. They were brothers. Two brothers came. And Eliyahu said to them, these are B'nai Elam Haba. So the Abroike went over to them. They asked them, what do you do? So they told him, Inshi Beduchi Anan. Rashi says, Smeichim umesamchim achedim. They're happy people and they make others happy. In other words, They went around making people happy, but it's not that they made jokes and they were unhappy. No, they were some happy people, and they had the koyach to make others happy. They had a way to go over to a person and make him happy. So they said, "Mevadchi atsovi." When we see sad people, we make them happy, or when we see two people fighting, we go over to them and we make them happy, and then they stop fighting. And that's what they said. That's what they said. Interesting thing. When we see two people fighting, we go over to them and we make them happy. And when they become happy, they make shalom. They make shalom, they stop fighting. They make shalom. So therefore, these people go straight to Olam Haba. What do you see? The mile of simcha. You see the koyach of simcha. And the Rebbe says, ubefrat, in what is explained in Keser Shem Tov about this Gemara. He doesn't say what it says in the Keser Shem Tov, but he says, look in Keser Shem Tov, that the Baal Shem Tov brings the Gemara and explains it. So I looked in Keser Shem Tov, in the Mara Mokum that says over there. The Baal Shem Tov said like this: what was the point of these people to make people happy? Their inyan lo'elam was they tried to be maila everything. They tried to elevate everything. Min hageshem el ruach. That's what they tried to do. To be maila everything min hageshem el ruach. To not be caught up in the gashmias, but they would be elevated and have a feeling for ruchnias, for kedusha. This is what they tried to do. And they were matzliach. But the one exception: a person who is sad, you can't elevate him. He can't be elevated. So they had to make him happy, and then they could elevate him. They could do what they wanted to do. So you see that the koyach of simcha, that even a person who's stuck and can't be elevated, he can't get out of the gashmias. We make him happy. You can bring him out. You can get out of the problems, get into a higher level of good situation.
That's what the Rebbe says. Even eat with simcha, because otherwise you're not going to be able to eat in the elevation you're doing.
Yeah, you have a good point. A good point. Then, in the end of that sikha, he said that ikir is asol zayin mitoich simcha. Bizas vetzayin besimchas oilam al roisham noch in zman agolus. You hear words. Simchas oilam al roisham. The Rebbe always mentioned is going to be when Mashiach comes. It says bizas vetzayin besimchas oilam al roisham noch in zman agolus. Bizu besimchas oilam al roisham kipshuto even bis Mashiach came. Fine. So the Rebbe in Tov Shem Aleph, and I think since then he only increased this. He wanted simcha. Throughout the years, in the memes for sure, he spoke about simcha so many times. And I have a Karlina Choset cousin. He once told me in the memes, simcha, wie kommt simcha zu Chabad? He was a chiddush to him that Chabad makes such an emphasis of simcha. Yeah, Chabad is, Chabad, Moichen is Yashbus. Yeah, excitement. But simcha is something different. Simcha is not a pilot. Simcha is simcha. Simcha is a special Indian. Simcha Faket is a Maimah from Rebbe Rashab that the Rebbe mentions that Simcha, the true Simcha, is connected with Anivus. For Yosfu Anovim Bashem Simcha. Through Anivus, Onov, Bittul. Through Bittul, you have the real Simcha. Anyway, that's Noach. Now listen to one more thing. In Lech Lecha, the next Farbrengen, after this letter, after this Hake letter, the next Farbrengen, is another few words that I wrote down from Lech Lecha Mem Aleph. Tavshim Mem Aleph, it's printed in Sichas Kodesh, the big set Sichas Kodesh, Yiddish Sichas Anochas, built in Mugav, Farbrengens. So far, it's not in Lashon Kodesh. So far, it's printed in Yiddish just. So over there, it says like this.
You're almost there.
Yeah, they're almost there. They get there soon. Yeah, but nevertheless, it's not the same. The Lashon Kodesh is it's written the way you write something. The Yiddish is the way the Rebbe said it. It's different. It's different. They're both good. Each one has a miler. So here it says that a very interesting nakuda here. I don't think it says it anywhere else, but you listen, you'll hear what I'm saying. So first he says, just like we speak about Torah mitzvahs b'chlal, that so darf euch sein benegeh zu dem Minyan welchem itzte zu Mois sein in Simche in alle Inyonim verbunden mit der Hisofe und Limit der Torah und Zinus Hatzdake ist zum alle Menschen darf man sein bis Simche zieh das ist Lishma, zieh das ist Shaloi Lishma und demult ist eine sichere Sache, also viele das ist Shaloi Lishma ist mit euch Shaloi Lishma Bo Lishma. Okay, make sure you get there, make sure you get the Simche, make sure you get there, don't wait till it should be Lishma, make sure you get there. Okay, fine. Now, he said, Taken nit kein Simche verbunden mit Wildkeiten, nor mit Teure und Mitzvahs, aber a Simche G'doyle. This is what he wants. A Simche G'doyle. Okay? It's not verbunden mit Wildkeiten, but Teure und Mitzvahs and serving Hashem calls for Simche G'doyle. And Simche that's generated by Pikudi Hashem Yishanim Samchelev should be a great Simche, and you should show it. That's what the Rebbe says. And then he says, there's a choshech kofel u'mechupel going on. So hazah choshech kofel u'mechupel. Now, why? Why is there such a choshech kofel u'mechupel? The einzige Sibbe, was wir können sagen, for was is hazah choshech kofel u'mechupel, is the far was durch the Reif wird sein the Yisrin ha'oyer min ha'choshech, has gor b'korev kommt Mashiach tzidkei. Such a choshech kofel u'mechupel, because the great oyer is coming. The great simcha is coming, Mashiach is coming. That's why this choshech is here. If so, man darf sich stellen gegen dem choshech durch der Reif, was man ist besimcha gedoyle. Because you're showing that you have to spoil from this choshech. You realize what the mechuven is, that the great the Gili is coming, Mashiach is coming. That's why you're going to be now besimcha gedoyle. You're showing it's spoil from the choshech. That's going to push away the choshech. Then he says these words, listen. Darf man sich schon zugreiten und eingewöhnen sich itzter in dem Linie von Simche, zu wissen, wie zu sein bis Simche beschas Mashiach wird kommen. Wie man darf tanzen und wie man darf singen. Der Fall sagt man jeder Jiden, seid bis Simche und gewöhnt sich ein zu der Simche von der Geula Amitis v'Hashleima. You gotta practice. You're not going to know how to sing and dance when Mashiach comes. You gotta practice. This is what it says here. This is in the Bluti Muge. Okay, but it's how you state them. Now, und das, was ist Hazach, Choshech HaGolus, das nur der Fall, was durch den Reif soll sein, die Yisren Oyer nach Choshech. Mamele darf man sein bis Simche und sich eingewöhnen zu die Simche, was wird sein, wie es Mashiach zu kennen. And then he says, und a Simche verbunden mit a Chakalei b'chol yom sheyovei. The Simche is because it's connected with waiting, excited about anticipating Mashiach. And he says an interesting thing. Ubefrat benegea zu mechanchim. As they darfen margel sein Kinder. As der Chakalei b'chol yom sheyovei, was otot kommt darf sein besimcha. I saw these words. I was thinking, the Rebbe is calling to mechanchim. You should get kids the idea that the Chaka should be with simcha. So I was remembering that I heard old Yidden throughout when a few years ago. I would hear older Yidden, and when you would tell them that my Mashiach should come, they would say Halavai. Say Halavai, like they looked at it as Halavai, right? Yeah, it would be beautiful, but I don't know. It was more a feeling of distress, like, Mashiach. He's really coming, and get excited.
Is the Amen does it?
Huh?
Amen. Amen.
Could be. Anyway, this is what the Rebbe spoke in this time in Hakel in Tovshim Mem Aleph. And the official letter that he wrote to Klal Yisrael, he mentioned this bekitzer that Farbrengen and Madgish sein the Simcha Shel Torah and Mitzvah Avodas Hashem and for any Kanal Yidden. So he gave a suggestion that everybody should learn the same Inyan in Torah, Parshas HaShavua, and give it tzedakah every day. This is very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, Chaim Lebracha, we should be able to have some of this Simcha and realize that it's real. This is real. Chaim Lebracha. Ganz your frail Zomen sein. Ganz your frail, 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 ganz your frail Zomen sein. Ganz your frail, ganz your frail, ganz your frail Zomen sein. Ganz your frail, ganz your frail, ganz your frail. Freila Zomen sein, ganz your Freila, ganz your Freila, ganz your Freila, Freila Zomen sein, ganz your Freila, ganz your Freila, ganz your Freila, Freila Zomen sein, ganz your Freila, ganz your Freila, ganz your Freila, Freila Zomen sein, ganz your Freila, ganz your Freila, Freila Zomen sein, ganz your Freila. Ganz your Freila, ganz your Freila Zomen sein. Ja, and especially this year, Ganz your Freila. What's this year? May of Esrim Shana of our dear Rebbe. May of Esrim Shana. So what? What's the connection with Simcha? So I showed you for my little booklet. I wrote things in there. This little book. You know what this little booklet is? You don't know what this little booklet is. This was mamish. I sit in Oli Torah. I sit in based in the Zal. Before Pesach, there was a bunch of these on the windowsill behind me. A bunch of these little booklets. And I took one and looked at it. I say, ooh, I hope many other people get to see this. What is this? This is the Sikha of Chof, Chesvon, Tofshin, Mem Aleph. Okay, again, it's printed in Sichas Kodesh, Tofshin, Mem Aleph in Yiddish. And somebody went and translated it in Lashon Kodesh and made it a little booklet in honor of Yud Aleph Nissen, Tofshin, Pei, Beis, Me'av Esrim Shana. Why? Because in Chof, Chesvon, Tofshin, Mem Aleph was Me'av Esrim Shana of the Rebbe Rashab. Okay? I was, when it came before Yud Aleph Nissen, Tafshin Mem Pei Beis, I was wondering, did the Rebbe speak ever about Me'av Esrim Yom Haledes 120 years? I was wondering. And I saw this. I said, ooh, Tafshin Mem Aleph, Chof Cheshvan. That's when the Rebbe spoke about Me'av Esrim Shana, Yom Haledes of the Rebbe. So, after Rabbi Moshe Katzman asked me to come Farbrengen, I remember that I have this kuntres, and I wondered, is anybody here going to have seen this? Anybody? If not, it's a halt ganzen geloint that I came here today. If nobody knows about this, and this is what I'm coming to tell you. Fishel is out to die. Okay, so this is behemshich to these siches. There was Noach, Lech Lecha, and this letter. Then there was Chof Chesvon Farbrengen on Wednesday night, Parshas Chayesora. Thursday was Chof Chesvon. Wednesday night, Parshas Chayesora was the Farbrengen. So the Rebbe continues here speaking about the Simcha. First, the first point he says, I'm going to share with you some points because this is mamish gewaldig. First, he started off the Farbrengen that it's known that the Frierdiker Rebbe told about the Rebbe Rashab's Yom Haledes, that in every year Yom Haledes he said Chassidus, but he said it b'chashoi only for the Frierdiker Rebbe. But then the Frierdiker Rebbe was mefarsim this until the whole Indian of Chagigas Yom Haledes came with Pirsum. But really, the Rebbe made the Pirsum. The Frierdiker Rebbe started because he wrote Yom Haledes. It's a Hayom Yom about Yom Haledes with Hanoga. Okay, fine, but then he says that in Tofshin Hey, the Frierdiker Rebbe told that he had a cholim in Tofshin Hey. He had a cholim. The Rebbe Rashab told him that on this Chof Chesvon, which is going to be 84 years, the Rebbe Rashab, all the Rabbeim are going to say a drush on a posuk of Kapitel Pei Dalet. That's what the Frierdiker Rebbe told about a cholim that he had in Tofshin Hey. So from this we see that even when the Shema is in Gan Eden, the years that correspond to down here, if the Shema would have been the Guf, it would have been more birthdays and more birthdays. That's what it goes according to that. And the Maimach Chassidus they were going to say is about what's going to be when he was being this year in this world. He would have been 84. So they said Maimach Chassidus on Kapitel Pei Dalet. All the Rabbeim are going to say drush on Pasuk Kapitel Pei Dalet because it's the Rebbe Shab's Yom Haledes on Chof Chesvon Tofshin Hey. The Rebbe says, Nimtza, that this Chof Chesvon, Tofshin Mem Aleph, it's 120 years. So then you begin the Kapitel Kuf Chof Aleph, Shir Lamalos Esein Elaharim. And now, says the Rebbe, we're going to connect this Kapitel Tilim with what we spoke about, the Goydel Inyan HaSimcha. He says like this. There's a Shaila that you can ask. Memont, that's Inyan Shazman Groma, that you have to be Besimcha. And not only Simcha Shel Mitzvah, but whatever you do, to be Besimcha. Maasecha, Drachecha, everything you do, you be Besimcha. And we're telling you that one of the reasons for the Simcha is because of an Inyan Shazman Groma, because the Welt is in a matzav mavel, in a terrible situation, with all the protim shabazeh, that as much as we're going to say it's not enough, because we only know a little bit about the Inyanim HaMavilim. It's a shrekliche matzav, and that's why you should be Moisef and Simcha. So the Rebbe said the shaila is a dover v'hifuchay. You're telling me that's a maimed of matzav mavil, it's a choyshech yichasa eretz, and arofel leumim arofel is more than choyshech. Then you're telling me this is not allowed to affect you at all. It's not allowed to minimize, not allowed to weaken the simcha. That you should be gewaldige simcha. And noch mehr that from the choyshech hagolus should be yisur no'er min ha-choyshech. You should get more simcha. What's this going on? What's it does? How could this be? So the Rebbe says, on this there's an answer in the Mizmer Kuf Chof Aleph and Tilim. In this Mizmer you'll see that there's no stira, there's no contradiction between HaChoshech Yichas HaEretz V'Arofel Umim with the fact that we have to be B'Simcha. The Rebbe said these words. Wenn ken sein HaChoshech Yichas HaEretz V'Arofel Umim soll valvel sein von sein Simche, das ist eider kommt zu Kapitel Chof Aleph and Tilim. Shaz aber kommt zu Kapitel Chof Aleph and Tilim. Oh, it's red God Abnish. It changes. Then it changes. It's not mevalvel anymore. The Choshech is not going to be mevalvel you anymore. He said, what's it does? Begins Shir Lamalis. Essa Eine Elohorim Mei Ayin Yova Yezri. The words Mei Ayin Yova Yezri is not a question. It's a notification. Essa Eine Elohorim. And I'm telling you, may ayin, from ayin, my help comes. The ezer of a yid comes from the level of ayin. The level of ayin is connected with the words ein mazal Yisrael. That ayin is the mazal Yisrael. It's a high, high level. That's above ishtalshalus. Ayin, may ayin is begematria meya ve'echot. Meya is a shleimus and ishtalshalus. Meya ve'echot is l'mayla me'ishtalshalus. as it's explained in Likutei Torah, the significance of Me'ah ve'echad. It doesn't say here where in Likutei Torah. Okay, so therefore, says the Rebbe, when we come to Kapit Chaf Aleph, what happens is we get Ezer from the level that's Me'ayin. It's above everything. It's above a very high level. However, we need that this high level should not remain in the Rokiya Hashvi, in the Mazel Sheben Neshama, the Yechida Sheben Neshama. We need that it should accomplish down here by us to be Tuv HaNir v'HaNigla. So therefore comes the next pasuk. Ezri Me'im Havaya Oiser Shemayim V'Aretz. That the Ezer that comes from the level of Me'ayin, that's higher than Shem Havaya. That Lo Yitfas B'Shem V'Lo Yisrames B'Shem Ois V'Koitz Klal. But then that comes into Shem Havaya. Ezri Me'im Havaya Oiser Shemayim V'Aretz. This Ezer comes into Shem Havaya, which is Koil Kol Seder Ashtalshalus Oiser Shemayim V'Aretz, that it comes down till Olam Hazah Tachten Shein Tachten L'Mata. Amen. Now, once the special koyach and ezer comes from way, way high up, above everything, comes all the way down here, now it needs a shmira. Since it's an olam hazeh tachten, it needs a shmira. So therefore, it goes on to say, Hine lo yonum v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. Eibishter watches and protects it, that it should be only for us, and should only be directed to the right place to help Yidden. And therefore, he says, what pshat hine lo yonam v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. Special Indian. Lo yonam v'lo yishan. L'choyre yoda inish benafshe. There is the Indian which caused Golinu me'artzenu, which is called Yoshan min hamitzvahs. And that complete is also Shina Lamaila, like it says in the Drushim of Purim. Yesh no yam echad, Haman said. Yeah. Afal pikein zokmen, doesn't matter. Hine lo yonam v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. This comes from the level of Eina Pkicha. That's not Shaykh, the Indian of Shina. Because it comes from the level of Me'ayin. That's Lo Yitfas B'Shem. It comes from a high level that over there is not Shaykh, the Indian of Shina. L'chatchil is not Shaykh, the Indian of Shina. And it's going on the level of Atik, Shaleis, smaller Bahai Atika, not even Smoil de Kedusha. It's Kula Yamin. And it says that from there is a level of Lo Shonisi. It never changes. So therefore, when we come down to this world in all the lowest places, and then you're on the built Yitzuyim that are going on, nevertheless, it's Avtocha Gemura and Avados Gemura that Lo Yonam V'lo Yishan Shomer Yisrael. This explains to every person how it can be both things together. Zol Zayin that Achoshech Yichas Eretz, never, even though Achoshech Yichas Eretz Rafal Umim, a Yid is happy. Why? Because we have, when it comes to Kapitel Kuf Aleph, the level of Me'ayin that's above everything comes down here to protect us and to accomplish everything. So even though it's had the matziv doinvelt, it looks very scary. That's when you have the koyach to go against it with koyachs from this world. Then it's a fight. But if you get koyachs from Me'ayin, it's a lost case. The enemy is a lost case. The koyach has a lost case. We have the unbelievable koyachs from Me'ayin Yovayezri. It comes all the way down and it's protected. And hine is loshen simcha. Rashi says in the Chumash somewhere that hine is loshen simcha. So therefore we could be greatly besimcha because lo yonam v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. And Hashem shomerecha, Hashem yishmorcha mikol ra yishmer es nafshecha. This doesn't say here, but I looked up the capital in Tillim. It says afterwards it says Hashem yishmorcha mikol ra yishmer es nafshecha. The Radak says the double lashon is yishmorcha mikol ra means from anybody who might want to harm you, and yishmer es nafshecha means from any sickness that might want to harm you. So that's the two things. Hashem yishmorcha mikol ra yishmer es nafshecha. Protected on all fronts. Okay, this is the Kapitel Kuf Chaf Aleph. That's what the Rebbe explains it.
COVID can't touch you.
No, can't touch you. That's right. That's right. When Kuf Chaf Aleph came this year, came Yud Aleph Nissen.
It's over.
It's over. Very garnished. Very garnished. So this gives the koyach that we can be besimcha, and there's no problem. The shaila, it's mevatul legamri, the pride of the shaila, what that you could have. Then the Rebbe goes on to explain that when a Yid sees that in the world there's choshech, you know that you have to fix this. A Yid knows that you got to fix the situation. And amongst all the eitzes, how to fix it, the Rebbe says they tried many ways, but the way of simcha wasn't tried enough. Through simcha, you break the barriers of golus. Only Yechidim did this, or it was done quietly, or mizman lizman. Bedarf aber aufsturm in der Welt, und herausnehmen in der Welt von golus. This is connected with a Yid taking himself out of the Golus Pnimi, and the Eitz is through that the Yid will be besimcha. He'll go out of his Golus Pnimi, and this will have an effect on the whole world to go out of the Golus. That's what it says. in Kapitel Kuf, and this is a Lashon Kodesh. Okay, so this year, if you want to know ganz Jahr Freilach, this year is the May of Esrim Shana, Kapitel Kuf Chaf Aleph. There's no, it's a top. It's the top. It's a reason to be gewaldig v'simcha this whole year. It's a gewaldig. It's mamish nifludik, and there's many more gewaldige things that say in this sicha. So you could look and Sichas Kodesh Tov Shem Aleph Chof Chesvon. You should know this is a whole year. It's the thing to learn. Learn Sichas Kodesh Tov Shem Aleph Chof Chesvon. See all the wonderful things that Rebbe says there in connection with Kapitel Kuf Chof Aleph and so on, and connection with the Rebbe and the Chassid. It's gewaldige Sachen. Maybe I'll share with you some more of it soon. But hey, So everyone should be healthy and happy and protected from everything. Man soll zusammen können verfleizen der Welt mit Simche und tanzen, mit Kabel nehmen, without any delay. Amen. I recently heard a Maisa. Could be you know this Maisa, I don't know. That in Tishrei Tovshin Nun Gimel, that's the first Tishrei after Chof Zayin Oder. Just go back fast, rewind from Chof Zayin Oder till Tishrei. Generally, we didn't see the Rebbe. Then by Tishrei, for Tishrei, they built a room in the back of 770. They built like a room and then a balcony. And in Tishrei, then again we was able to see the Rebbe in Tishrei. Shoshana just in the room, and then Simchas Torah came on the balcony. So in Chol HaMoed Sukkos, Tafshin and Gimel, a Yid came from Eretz Yisrael to 770, this Yid wasn't yet a Fruma Yid. He had a Shaykhis to a Beis Chabad. He wasn't yet a Fruma Yid. He came to 770, Tishrei Tavshin Gimel Chol Hamoed Sukkos. And officially, why did he come? To ask the Rebbe Mechila. That's why he came. To ask the Rebbe Mechila. Could be he heard that you will be able to see the Rebbe. Could be Rosh Hashanah already. The Rebbe came out. He heard the Shaykh wouldn't see the Rebbe. He came to ask the Rebbe Mechila. What's he want to ask the Rebbe Mechila? Why? So the story is like this. After Chof Zayin Oder, or maybe this was before Chof Zayin Oder, I don't know, there was an opportunity to buy some stocks. In Eretz Yisrael, was an opportunity then to buy some kind of stock. And he put a lot of money into those stocks because it was very promising and it looked very good. He put a lot of money into those stocks. It looked very good. And in the beginning, it was good. Then it started going down. It wasn't the way he thought. The beginning was good, but then it started going down. He was questioning, maybe he should take his money out. Maybe he shouldn't keep it there. So he went to the Shliach that he was connected with. He had a shaykhus with. And he asked the Shliach, I think I'm going to take out the money. So the Shliach said, ask the Rebbe. All right, so he sent a fax or whatever to the Rebbe. In those days, after Chof Zayin Oder, the Maskirim would read questions for the Rebbe, and the Rebbe would answer generally with motioning with his head, B'Roshei HaKodesh, yes or no. So he sent a question. The question was, should he take his money out because it looks like it's going down? The Rebbe made with his head, B'Roshei HaKodesh, no, he shouldn't take the money out. Okay, so he didn't. He waited another while, and again, it started going down more. Again, he got nervous. He went to the Shliach. He said, ask the Rebbe. Again, he asked the Rebbe. Again, the Rebbe said, B'Roshei HaKodesh. The Rebbe meant, no, he shouldn't take the money out. A while later, there was a terrible Yerida. It went down very greatly. It went down a lot. A big Yerida. This time, he got very scared. When he got to the Shliach said, ask the Rebbe. So right to this time, he sent again a question. And this time, you know what happened? The Rebbe said with his mouth, name. Not just Nanua Rosh HaKodesh. The Rebbe said name. And he felt that, it could be because this is a difficult one. so he said name. Okay? The Rebbe said sometimes name on the Piva Kodesh. After that came another situation. But this time, it looked like he was going to lose the keren. He was going to lose the original amount of money that he put in. So this was too much of a test for him. This time he decided he's not going to the Shliach. He's just going to take the money out to save his keren. What can he do? Right? So he did that. And shortly afterwards, turned around the wheel and started going up. Then he met the Shliach, and Shliach noticed on him that it is zutrogen. He's not happy. He's something bothering him. So he asked, what happened? Told him the truth. So Shliach got all excited. You didn't listen to the Rebbe. He was upset because he lost this opportunity. He had this opportunity, but Shliach instilled in him, what is it? What does this mean? You didn't listen to the Rebbe? You went against what the Rebbe said. Okay. So this had an effect on him. So he decided, he's coming to ask the Rebbe Mechila. Okay. So he came and he found an opportunity when the Rebbe was on the porch. He felt that the Rebbe accepted his Bakochas Mechila. So somebody told me this Maisa recently. Just interesting story. Probably Kohena Rabbis, but the point is, everyone knows there's Maisa about all the Rabbeim. The Rebbe sees what's going on. We don't see. We don't know. And there's no such thing as no person to outsmart the Rebbe. Okay, it was a big nisoyin for him, big test for him, but nevertheless, he on his level, he wasn't able to withstand that. But Chassid knows. Yeah, this is a story that I heard. Stories are always good. A story that I heard recently. I never heard this before. Could be none of you heard it before. I don't know. It's somebody the person who told me heard it from a Mukher Daman. Yeah. Now, another thing about the Kapitel Kuf Chaf Aleph, the Rebbe's Kapitel this year, the Rebbe's Kapitel Shir Lamalis. If you pay attention, all the Shir Hamalises are Shir Hamalis. Only this one is Shir Lamalis, the Lamed. Why is it with a Lamed? All the other ones are with a Hey, and this is a Lamed. So in that Farbrengen, Chof Chesvon Tov Mem Aleph, the Rebbe brings Medrash Tilim. First of all, the Yalkut Shimoini says that this Kapitel is going on the Melech HaMashiach, is speaking about the Melech HaMashiach. That's what the Mal Yalkut Shimoini says. And the Medrash Tilim says, David Omar Shir Lamalis. Why? Mishenosata Oleinu Maila Zu. When you're going to give us this Maila that's described in this Kapitel, that's Melech HaMashiach, Ein Onu Yerdin, there'll be no more descents. That's why it's La Malis. To the direction of up and nothing else. La Malis. This is going up and staying up. It's never going down again. This describes Mashiach. This Kapitel is describing Mashiach. That's going to be La Malis. Go up. Then the Rebbe brings that the Chidah is Moisif, that Lamed of La Malis is a remes for the 30 milos that Mashiach will have. And also Mashiach comes from Yehuda, and Yehuda's Begemati Lamed. There's 30 milos that Mashiach will have. Because it says in the Mishnah that Hamalchus Nichnas B'Shloishim milos. And the Malchus B'Shlei Musa is Melech HaMashiach. So that's Shir La Malis. Now then the Rebbe said, from the matzav in the world, we see and we know sie geblieben bloß gezählte Goyim zu der Shir Lamalis, zu der Aliyah she'ein achareha yerida. Der Rebbe darf man sein besimche und durch dem verbrennen die Shirayim from Golus. Well, the Rebbe said then, Tov Mem Aleph. So even though it's so many years since then, but it only gets stronger. Whatever the Rebbe said only gets stronger. Stronger and stronger. And now it's more than ever. Then he says another interesting thing over there, that talking about Me'av Esrim Shona, the Zohar says on the Pasuk V'hoyu Yom of Me'av Esrim Shona, that says by the Mabul, for the Mabul it says V'hoyu Yom of Me'av Esrim Shona, the Zohar says this is a remes to Moshe Rabbeinu, Shemamshich Chayim Lebnei Nosha. Moshe Rabbeinu is Mamshich Chayim to Yed Yid. Moshe Rabbeinu lived 120 years. So it's a remes to Moshe Rabbeinu. That Moshe Rabbeinu is Mamshich Chayim, the people, Mehahu Ilona de Chayim, from the Elon Eitz HaChayim, Umechelo Doan, from this Koyach, Kayomin B'nei Nosha Be'almin, Yidden, remain in this world, Yomin Sagiyin, for Arichos Yomim. So that's what he says. Moshe is Mamshech Chayim L'bnei Nosha, that they should live long. Moshe is Mamshech Chayim to Yidden, that Yidden should live long. And where is he Mamshech the Chayis from the Ilna the Chayim? And the Zohar says, Vaite, Moshe loy miss. He never died, Moshe. That's why he's the one who's Mamshech Chayim L'bnei Nosha, because by him there was no Hepech HaChayim, so he's the one who's Mamshech Chayim to people. And the Meforshei HaZohar connect this with the Gemara that says, Loy meis Moshe, Ma'alahal named the Meshamish, Afkan named the Meshamish. So this is Moshe Rabbeinu's Mamshech Chayim, and then the Rebbe says, it's from the Ilna the Chayim. What's the Ilna the Chayim? This is Torah. Durch Torah, Kimavur B'Zohar Shom Baruch. So through the Torah of the Rebbe, we get from the Rebbe the Chayis. That's what Torah of the Rebbe. You have Torah of the Rebbe. We learn the Torah of the Rebbe, and we get Chayis from the Rebbe. And all the brachas. This is what the Rebbe spoke in that Farbrengen of Tovshin Mem Aleph Chof Chesvon. And then there's much more here, much more very interesting things. But Al Kaponim, this is Shir Lamalis. It's really something to get excited about. This is Kuf Chaf Aleph, Me'av Esrim Shona. Everyone knows Me'av Esrim Shona. It's a big deal. Before you all listen, you made a big deal about Me'av Esrim Shona. And this now it's the whole now it's the shleimus of Me'av Esrim Shona. This is the time and the kapitel, and it's the house Chof Chesvon of this year. Yeah, so this man is great. Now then, it's a choshech choflim couple. The goal is coming. Mashiach's coming. The choshech is not supposed to have an effect on us. We have to know to bring the lichtigkeit, the right approach, the way the Rebbe wants. This is gewaldig. And the end of the whole Farbrengen says, Ibe Chazrin noch einmal die Nekude. Emes Take, as a choshech yichas eretz v'harofel u'umim. Aber beyachad im ze, weißt du hier da aber poshet, as meyayin yovo Ezri, und Ezri mi ma vaya is a shemaim va'oretz, und hine lo yonim v'leishen shema Yisrael, und hine is loshen simcha, und das peilt er. Also ich wenn redt mit der Sprach von simcha, ist 40 Neufen von simcha. Fragt wie ich sehe das in mir feier, als das was lo yonim v'leishen shema Yisrael ist, weil das nimmt sich von der eine Pkicha, das mul hat khilule shaykh koloinen shel shina. Und der Kavonen als der in dem als ist bei Elam Haza Hagashmi bis Mana Golus kim du Beleil Barucha. Das ist eine Kude, das ist eine Kude der ever wants. Meiste wo ich hier Simcha kipshuta bechol masachel shem shemayim bechol der Chachod Eil kipshutam. Und noch in der letzte Goyim von Golus bechol bnei Yisrael oibe mei shvoisam kein ti alonu wo even an nire van nigel gamle ene bosser bagol di dan mamish. Chaim. Okay. I'm telling you, after you called me, I chaptzich that I have this. This is treasure. But you can all find it. This country, I don't know if it's available now, but Sichas Kodesh, Tov Shem Mem Aleph, in Yiddish, Chof Chesvon. There's more. It says more, and it's more gewaltige Sachen. More gewaltige Sachen.
How does the Shem Aleph name done?
So hey na yelehori meyayin yoyesvi. So hey na yelehori meyayin Ezri meyim Hashem oisei shomayim v'aretz. Ezri meyim Hashem oisei shomayim v'aretz. Hashem yishmarcha mikol ra, yishmar es nafshecha. Hashem yishmar tzeischa uvayecha meyata v'yadevo. Hashem yishmarcha mikol ra, yishmar es nafshecha. Hashem yishmar tzeischa uvayecha meyata v'yadevo. Hinei layanum velayishon shoymei Yisrael, shoymei Yisrael. Hinei layanum velayishon shoymei Yisrael, shoymei Yisrael. Hinei layanum velayishon shoymei Yisrael, shoymei Yisrael. Hinei layanum velayishon shoymei Yisrael, shoymei Yisrael.
No one knows it.
I don't know it's so good. Yeah.
Likewise, I heard it and I sung it, but I don't know that. Yeah, you didn't add the feet. That's what it's like. Before and afterwards.
That's for sure.
Not in the middle.
Somewhere is Yechi. Yeah, no, yeah. How's it going? Okay, fine.
So you're saying the way to get simcha is through Torah and tzedakah.
That's what the Rebbe suggested. Give more, learn more Torah, learn the pasuk Torah. When you give more tzedakah, you'll become a simcha. That's what the Rebbe suggested. Yeah. Give and learn the pasuk Torah.
Not through the method of learning or the method of giving tzedakah.
No.
Saying just the act of doing it.
Yeah. Because it says, "Bekudei Hashem Yesharim is samchei leiv." So if you learn another pasuk in Torah and you give a coin for tzedakah, this should make you a simcha. That's what it says.
And you don't think that the way that you learn
but nevertheless
is important as well?
Nevertheless, the Rebbe wants you to focus on the simcha, right? Express the simcha. He says before Shalei Lishma, he let it be Shalei Lishma, get the simcha going. What can help you is learn another pasuk Torah. It's going to help you, but you should make an effort to get the simcha going, to show the simcha.
I'm saying because if you think about it, like giving tzedakah, for example, it says that you should give it, with the what's the word?
Save it for the other.
Save part of Yachas, exactly. And very often when you do that, first of all, it has an effect on you. If you put a smile on your face, even though you don't necessarily feel it, it can actually change the way you feel. And when you see someone smile because you give them something and it helps them out, you also feel happier about it as well. I'm saying it could also be that the way that you're giving tzedakah has an effect on actually what you're doing and the way that you're learning. And in other words, it isn't just that you're like learning because you're forcing yourself to learn and therefore you're being happy about it. It's that you're saying, I'm going to be happy about it. I'm going to enjoy it, and you like sort of you think about that. And when you think about it and you're mindful of it, I think it'll actually create the simcha. But if you go into the learning with Atchila, saying, I'm going to learn because I want to be happy, and it's a magic trick that's going to make you happy, I think it's kind of missing the point, no?
I don't know. Could be. I don't know if it's Gansen missing the point, but it could be the Shleimus is.
The actual learning is going to make simcha.
Yeah. The way the Rebbe presents it is that Bikudei Hashem Yeshorim Mesamcheli. Torah mitzvahs bring simcha. I guess you have to be a kid. You have to be tuned into it.
But
you have to look for it. You're right. There's a derech to do it. That's a different nekuda.
But the derech is part of it. I'm saying if you do a mitzvah without doing it, it's missing. As Tanya says, without the kavanah of the mitzvah, it's kind of like lacking. A lot of the oomph behind it. A lot of the I don't know the exact terminology Tanya uses, but you probably know better than I do.
Well, kavanah is one thing.
I don't mean kavanah.
Right. Simcha is another thing. Simcha shel mitzvah is another point that's brought out in many Maimonim Chassidus, the significance and the importance of simcha shel mitzvah. Right? Avodas Hashem b'simcha. And the Rebbe mentioned I'll give you a Maimokim to look in Chamisha Oster B'Shvat Tov Shemem Hei. I saw it. Chamisha Oster B'Shvat Tov Shemem Hei in that Farbrengen. The Rebbe speaks about this nakuda that people are not making enough of an emphasis on showing simcha in connection with mitzvahs. That when you do a mitzvah, show simcha. That's simcha shel mitzvah. Push it begoli, but should be begoli. You should show. We should see that when people do mitzvahs, they have simcha. Simcha shel mitzvah is not just something you should have something hidden. You should show it. You should begoli. You can look it up. And Tov Shemem Hei Chamisha B'Shvat. You'll see the words that Rebbe said over there. In other words, there is a point that if you focus on what a mitzvah is, and you pay attention that I'm doing a mitzvah, wow, I'm doing a mitzvah. If you focus on a mitzvah, because a mitzvah is very valuable, unbelievably valuable. And Chassidus, you learn a little bit what a mitzvah is. And Simcha Shel Mitzvah is the etzeminion that the Eibishter told us to do a mitzvah, and we have the schus to do the Eibishter's mitzvah. The etzeminion, right? Besides the mile of a mitzvah, but the etzeminion that the Eibishter told us to do the mitzvah.
And you're saying not like that in this case.
That's Simcha Shel Mitzvah. Right?
You're saying dafka not like this. You're saying daf just learning.
No, I'm not saying dafka not. No, I'm not saying dafka not. I'm not saying dafka not. I'm saying this is something that the Rebbe speaks about in other places, about the Simcha Shel Mitzvah that has to be brought out. But here he's saying not only Simcha Shel Mitzvah, even when you're doing simple things, eating, drinking, sleeping, you should also be a Simcha. So, what's going to help you be a Simcha? What's going to help you to have Simcha when you're doing that also? You should be happy. So, to be in a happy mood, Torah mitzvahs is going to help that you be more in a happy mood. That's how the Rebbe puts it in these sichos. I'm not the maven on explaining what the Rebbe means and what's behind it, but this is the way the Rebbe puts it here. The way the Rebbe puts it here is, but on the other hand, there's a call, Zait besimcha. Zait besimcha, Be besimcha. And then he says, Takanitkein simcha verbunden mit Wildkeiten, nor mit Torah mitzvahs, aber a simcha gedeile. Und a simcha verbunden mit der Chakalei b'cholim sheyobai. So, connected, the simcha is connected with Torah mitzvahs. That whatever I'm doing Torah and mitzvahs, it's a reason to be happy all the time. And when I'm eating and sleeping and drinking, it's all to help me be able to do Torah mitzvahs. It's all connected. It's really all connected because that's called Masechus Shemayim. It's really connected with the Torah mitzvahs. So therefore, the simcha expands there too. So it's appreciating, I guess, it's appreciating what it is, appreciating serving Hashem. And the Yid always is serving Hashem, even when he's eating and sleeping. He's also serving Hashem. So appreciating this and expressing the simcha. That's what it says here. Right? It's not. We're not saying it's easy. The Rebbe himself says that people didn't do it until now. Yeah. זה נעשה רק על ידי יחידים, מה שנעשה בחשויה, מזמן לזמן. Daarvoor beoefstur in de Welt. Und das, von dem darf man haben, Jid soll sein besimchen, wird sich allein herausnehmen von seinem Golus Pnimi. And this is going to help the hold the world out of Golus. It's the Rebbe's sprach. So we have to look for ways to be besimcha. What is the simcha based on? It's based on Torah mitzvahs that brings simcha. And the reason to be besimcha. That's the reason. There's nothing, Torah mitzvahs is the most valuable things. It's a reason to make us besimcha. But we have to focus on it and look to express our simcha.
So what does simcha mean? Simcha means to tanzen, Feilach, means so
It's happy energy.
it's an energy.
But happy energy comes from positive thinking. So we have to always involve positive thoughts because we have Zeh Umat Zeh hits us all the time. So we have to get use the suggestion of the the Rebbe, all the Rebbes, that not to pay attention what he says in Tanya. More than that. If it comes in the middle of davening, it comes in the middle of Torah mitzvahs, or it comes in when you're doing your own thing. Not to pay attention and to believe, to trust that you don't want it, and just to think about the fact that we have a neshama in us, a part of Hashem, that it's to help it to come out by the fact that we appreciating the fact that Hashem gave us this gift, neshama, that's also eternal, and this is a lot of chizuk when we think like that, of pushing it away and being in that simcha feeling. That I think that it's very helpful.
Yes.
Very helpful.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
To do everything to really be focused, to be in the present time, to be at present, not yesterday, not tomorrow. To be at the present time. It's easy to say, hard to do, but it helps.
That's right. That's true. That is
It
true.
helps to be strong. And also another thing, to always see in every type of situation, through contemplation, the good in that. Because everything has something good there that's in there, and you have to see it. When you see the goodness of, you get tremendous help. You feel the help. All of a sudden you become positive. So you become positive, your energy is all of a sudden goes up, and you feel this overcoming, which is the simcha.
That's true.
Overcoming, and you, no matter how difficult the situation is, or what's going to be tomorrow. Now it's now. It's the simcha. That's what's the important thing. Tomorrow comes. Think about this tomorrow.
To focus on the good things all the time. That's right. We say that 3 times a day. Focus on the good things that the Eibusha does all the time. That's right. Yeah. That's very positive. The Rebbe wants always to focus on the positive things. Focus on the positive, and the positive pushes away the negative. Brings out the simple.
We have this capability. We have definitely this capability to, and we have to encourage each other. It's basically, very, very important. To what you've been saying now, what you've been telling us about this book. It's very encouraging. Very, very encouraging. Too, because there's there are 2 choices, either or. But we, at this point, which is I think because the Geula is almost here, the Rebbe told us, and it's worth it to make the effort of being the simcha. We make the effort, and then it's happening. It's happening. If it goes down, we come right back to it. We come right back to it. We are stubborn because we have this eternal part, the spark of Moshe Rabbeinu, right? Spark each Jew has, right? The spark of Moshe Rabbeinu.
Something of Moshe Rabbeinu. Yeah.
Thinking thoughts like that, and it's capable of getting us out of, putting us in this joyful feeling.
We also have a spark
Again,
of
the
Mashiach.
energy. Then it reflects in the energy. We wake up better. We walk better. Everything is. We singing. We finding ourselves all of a sudden singing, and it's very helpful.
Yeah, but Al Kaponim, Kuf Chof Aleph is different. The Rebbe said this. When you come to Kapitel Chof Aleph, the situation is different. We have to realize that. The Rebbe's Kapitel, Kuf Chof Aleph is our Rebbe's Kapitel.
We're 6 months in.
6 months in already on B'chol HaToikif, and we have to appreciate it. Appreciate it and live with us. It's geweldig. And you know what the Rebbe says an expression here? It's an expression. Chedvot kia b'liboy misitra da. Tanya says that you could have a situation that from one side you have simcha, the other side you have meridus. Meridus misad nefesh habahamis, and simcha misad nefesh alikis. So the Rebbe says like this: Kimin sheyudeya shagam ba'olam b'toich ha'ois shemayim ba'aretz nimshach ezri from meyayin, and the way of loishon nisi gam lamata. And this comes from the level of lace, small bahayatika. It's cool yamina. So therefore, nasis hasimcha gam betzad hasheni. Since this is the level of lo yonim v'leishin shem Yisrael, that comes from atika, the less smaller bahayatika. So there's no two sides. The simcha goes durch and durch. Simcha durch and durch. Nasis hasimcha gam betzad hasheni. Ich auf der zweiten Seite. There's no room where the simcha doesn't penetrate. This is koiches. The Rebbe sagt uns, what this is. Later in the Sikha, the Rebbe speaks about the fact that there's a difficulty today. The difficulty is, it's a regular Wednesday night, today's Sunday night. It's a regular Wednesday night. And he's living in the great city of New York with 9 million people. And he has his business. And he knows that he came today from his business. And he's getting ready. And if he wants to or not, he's also thinking about how he's going to conduct his businesses tomorrow morning. And then we tell him, but you should know that it's the Yom Haledes of a certain Yid who was born 120 years ago. He was born in a kleine shtetl, Me'ever Layam. And he says, okay, I understand. He was a great person. He was a Nasi. He was an Neshama Klolis. But how does this connect with my personal matters on the Thursday, Parshas Chayesod Tafshim Mem Aleph in Brooklyn, New York? So, says the Rebbe, Mepnei Animus, Mepnei Akovit, Mepnei Kama Yonim, he came to the Farbrengen, he's sitting here. But I don't know where his machshava is. His goof is here, but where's his machshava? He might be thinking about his business that he had yesterday and what he's hoping to be matzliach more tomorrow morning. And then the Rebbe said, Zol der Rebbe stehen geben noch mehr atzlachen. Good, fine. But this is the situation. So what's montment for them? That at least for a few minutes, you should try to be poil on yourself that now you're a chassid of the Rebbe, who is in the Mamal and Mokim of the Baal Yom HaLedes. And as a chassid, you should be mevatel your mitzias. It's true. You're in Brooklyn, New York. It's Tafshin Mem Aleph. It's Chodesh Chesvon. It's the 20th day in Chesvon. It's true. But nevertheless, be poil on yourself that you're not the person who you know you are. You're a chassid of the Rebbe. Okay, this is what he says over here. And then he says, Hayom Ba'elin is Kodim V'nasim means that it shouldn't be an Indian that once was. It should be happening now. So the kavanah is that you should take yourself out of yourself and the whole sviva and put yourself in a situation that it's you and the Rebbe. And even if you never saw the Rebbe, but you have the Torah of the Rebbe. So do something about it. And don't look at the clock and say, oh, I did this for 1 minute. Forget about the clock. Forget about yourself. Even though 120 years passed, but feel at least for a few moments that it's chodesh mamish. It's happening now, and it's you and the Rebbe. But the Rebbe speaks over here. And if you do that, it's going to become v'nasim. It's going to bring a big improvement in everything you do. Kol ma'asecha will be in a higher level. And he wrote that everyone should try this at least a little bit. If you can't do it now, do it in a half an hour from now or an hour from now. You can do it in a few days from now. This man, think as if it's you and the Rebbe. Then he says, he's sitting in his room. He's sitting in his room, and he's sitting in Brooklyn, New York, and he has wall-to-wall carpet, and the cabinet that the dresser that he has was brought from overseas, because he has to have this type of dresser to keep, or bookshelf to keep the Chumash and the Tanya, even though the Alter Rebbe didn't mind if the Tanya was on a simple board, not on a beautiful thing. Nevertheless, he's sitting there. At the same time, he closes his eyes. He doesn't see the carpet from wall to wall. He doesn't see the cabinet that he brought from Chesvon. And he wants to be one chassid. The Rebbe is a chassid. Being mekabel the Torah by Har Sinai now. So he says, and then the Rebbe says, it's true that you might need wall-to-wall carpet and a beautiful bookcase. And he brings a meiser from the Tzemach Tzedek. It's an interesting thing. Tzemach Tzedek had furniture that wasn't painted. Furniture that wasn't painted. He had table and benches and furniture, but it wasn't painted. One of the Chassidim was a Gvir, and he had a moifus from the Tzemach Tzedek or other inyanim and Ruchnis and Gashmis. He gave the Tzemach Tzedek a matona, painted furniture, nice furniture. Tzemach Tzedek told him, I don't need it. Give it to my son, the Rebbe Marash. So the Rebbe asked a question. If the Tzemach Tzedek felt that it's not worth having it, so why did he send it to the Rebbe Marash? So the text says, two efanim of avodah. The Tzemach Tzedek didn't need it, but the Rebbe Marash could use it. So you see that it's shaykh that, yes, you're going to have beautiful things. You have painted furniture, nice furniture, whatever. But it's not a stira to be Rebbe Marash. It's not a stira. So Rebbe goes on to say, by a yid, there has to be two things. It has to be Veshalcha ber Chova, even in Gashmis. The Rebbe wants and always says it should be Betuva Nirivan Digla, it should be a Chova in Gashmis. Aber zusammen damit, nicht in dem soll sein Teinung und sein Chayus. Your Geschmack and your Chayus shouldn't be laying in that. So we need to have this balance. Yeah, you should have our Chova in Gashmis, but you shouldn't be in that. I have it, I need it, it helps me, but what am I? I am Chassidus, Rebbe, Torah, mitzvahs. And therefore, Mizman Lizman, the Rebbe says, maybe once a week, you should sit with closed eyes and picture as if you're standing by Har Sinai b'Matan Torah. Or in other words, think about how was your great Zayde or Elta Zayde. And they haben nicht gelegen in the alle Sachen, was der Rambam ruft Havlei Hazman. They weren't involved in all the narishkeiten from the time, from this man that are available today. And their whole chayas was Torah and mitzvahs. They didn't know of anything else but pashtus. So you picture, my Zayde, my Elta Zayde. So maybe I should also be like him. But it doesn't mean that I shouldn't have the Yonim Gashmiyim. You need the Gashmis, have Bar Chova. Feirish, yeah. Aber nicht in dem Likte. And therefore, b'toich simcha, he tries to feel that I am higher than this. I am connected with my Geschmack and my Chayus, and Torah, mitzvahs, Chassidus, the Rebbe, Mashiach. Das is mein Geschmack, das is mein Koch. The Gashmis is not a stira. Gashmis today, we're in a matzah that we need the Gashmis. Okay, we need the Gashmis. Have the Gashmis, have our Chova. The Rebbe wants we should have our Chova and Gashmis. Shouldn't have disturbances. V'nishn dem liktmin, but that's not what you're into. I need it, fine, I have it, good. But what am I into? What am I? It's my chayas and my tainug is Torah, mitzvahs, Rebbe, Chassidus, Mashiach. That's with a simcha. That's what we're involved in. That's what we do. So another thing the Rebbe mentioned in this Farbrengen. So it's Kapitel Chof Chaf Aleph. This is the Rebbe's koyach that we have to be the Rebbe's a chosid. And Tomvos Rebbe will, even though it's in 2022. And there's so much going on, hoo-ha, but okay, we need to have harchava, very good, but not in a way that it should distract us and take us away from Torah mitzvahs. I have a brother who's a mashpia in Brimois. His name is Bluming. So once, when he was here recently, he told me that darf mechanech sein, darf mechanech sein, the oilam, and darf nutzen the Zeit zu lernen in Torah. Because there's a lot of distractions today. Everyone has a phone, and you could sit on your phone the whole day and do things. It's very interesting. You could see on your phone very interesting things. I say that it could be that the fact that everybody has a phone today prevents a lot of people from doing negative things because they're busy. They're sitting with their phone. It could be has a positive effect. A lot of people, you walk around, you see people sitting, looking at the phone. So it could be it prevents them from going do other things. Could be. But a yid, a chosid, is not supposed to just be prevented from doing negative things. You've got to do positive things. And if you have a phone and always I have to see what's going on. I can't see. Maybe there's another mitzvah that I can find. Maybe it's another good thing that I should know about. Maybe this, maybe that. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to know that you need all the milas, but be in control. Be in control and finish them. Don't let it distract you. When it distract you, use it instead of it should. Take you be balabas on it, and you use it when you need something, when you want to accomplish something. But it shouldn't be in a way that it do licks in them. It shouldn't be a way that it distracts you. It's an important thing to be aware of, to be careful. The Rebbe sagt das da als da haben harchava, nicht liegen in them. Chayus und der Geschmack ist was Chasidim. Wir sind Chasidim, wie unsere Eltern sehen das, und wir sind Chasidim. And we're Chassidim of the Rebbe. The Rebbe said in the Farbrengen of Chof Mem Hey that every Rebbe talks about the Friedrich Rebbe, Rabbi Rebbe Rashab, was Mamal Mokim, but not just Mamal Mokim, Malen Bakoidesh. Because in Allen Yonim is Malen Bakoidesh. Avada gewiss the Nosi Hadoyer that affects Kol Klal Yisrael Zichir Malen Bakoidesh. So it's Malen Bakoidesh. Alle Veishchem, I'm not taking Chiddush, but the Rebbe says these words. That every Rebbe is Malim Mokim. The Rebbe is Malim Mokim or Malim Bakodesh, higher. Our Rebbe, Doira Shvi, is higher than all the other Doiras. It's higher than all the other Doiras. We're the Chassidim of the Rebbe. So are we higher than the Alter Rebbe's Chassidim? Okay, there's a debate about that. If we are on a higher level than the Alter Rebbe's Chassidim. Some people think that we accomplish certain things that the Alter Rebbe's Chassidim couldn't accomplish. It's good as it can sein. It can sein. And certain Yonim in Maise, HaMaise Hu Oiker, this Doira Shvi is in Maise. They accomplished such things that the Alter Rebbe's Chassidim couldn't accomplish. It could be, but als a chosid, are we better Chassidim than the Alter Rebbe's Chassidim? I don't know. Ich weiß nicht. Who knows how to measure? But the point is, the Rebbe is Malam Bakodesh. The Rebbe is higher. The Rebbe represents higher. The Rebbe stellt vor mehr und hecher und besser. Und der Rebbe ist okay, the ganze Meile von der Schwie ist Schwielerischen, aber der Schwie, in Kol Schwie in Chavivin, ganze Hisof, es tut sich. And this is our Rebbe and our Chassidim. We have such koiches, such inyonim. We should be proud and have a geschmack and a chayus. We do, but our Elters Eidus were in their way. They were ganzen involved in Chassidus. We could also be ganzen involved in the Rebbe's and Yonim and the Chassidish Leben and everyone in their place to do what we could. That soll sein mehr und mehr wie der Rebbe will. Durch Simcha v'tug levov und durch Harchava. Chaim Lemer. ya did I ya 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 did I ya ya did I ya ya did I ya 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 I did I ya ya did I ya 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 did I ya ya did I ya 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 This Lubavitch Nigin, and in the later years it was put on the words hidden in maybe somebody added stuff. I think after Gimel Tammuz this was added to the words, not before. Before they had a different Nigin on even if we say it was with the Nigin of that Nigin is on the maybe some after Gimel Tammuz they put in this Nigin. So maybe somebody added Chesvon is pasuk of Hakel. Kol Gadol Yeshuv Heina. Kol Gadol Yeshuv Heina. So in the Kutei Sichos Chelik Tes, I must tell you this. In Kutei Sichos Chelik Tes, page 380. Kutei Sichos Chelik Tes, page 380. There's the bracha that the Rebbe said on Erev Yom Kippur Tafshin Chof Zayin. It was a short bracha, a few lines. And there it says these words: Der Eibishter soll mekayim sein Hakel, b'shnas Hakel zu. Chof Zayin was Hakel. Der Eibishter soll mekayim sein Hakel, b'shnas Hakel zu. Und soll Hakel sein es kol ha'om, ha'anoshim v'hanoshim v'ataf, v'geircha asher b'sharecha. Und soll sei Male sein, l'Yerushalayim, l'Rois goimer, in der Geula hamitis v'ashleim al yidei Mashiach tzedkeinu. Then there's another few words. Now, the Rebbe said, when there's a hakel zayin es kol ha'om. In the pasuk it says hakel es ha'om. The Rebbe says hakel zayin es kol ha'om, and there's a one on the word kol, and there's an or on the bottom. It says Gam eile hapturim in mitzvahs hakel. There are certain individuals who are potter from hakel. Who are those? Kol eile shapturim in mitzvahs hariyah. There are certain individuals who don't have to be eile regel 3 times a year. Who are those? So it says in Gemara Chagiga, Iveru Piseach. A person who can't see doesn't have to be eile regel because it says lirois, he has come to see, and that comes then. And the person who can't walk well is potter because they have gain. They have to go. He has to go with regel, with foot, and he's Piseach. He can't walk well. This is Gemara Chagiga. So these 2 people are not chayiv and aliyah regel. Have a zok over there. Eibishter vet makel zayin. It's going to be hakel kol ha'am. Or the Yidden, it's going to be kol ha'am. Even those exceptional people, even Pesach, they're also going to be brought. The Rebbe says, he's going to heal them, right? But the Rebbe says chagiga and Yirmiyah lamed zayin. Yirmiyah, it says even Pesach, bom even Pesach. That's clear. Why does it say even Pesach? What's up even Pesach? So according to this letter, this word, the pshat is that's a chiddush that even though in mitzvahs hakel they don't come, but in the kibbutz goliath, the kol godel yeshuvu heina will zayin alle on kein shumoisna. So this is a big deal. Chof zayin is hakel. The Rebbe said it's tefillah. The Eibish said mekayim zayin hakel, but not hakel zu. Hakel zayin is kol and right after hakel. Chof Zayin. In Chof Zayin was the 6-day war, right? In Big Nitzochen. In Chof Zayin, Shas Hakel. And then was Chof Ches. So Rosh Hashanah Chof Ches, the Rebbe said, the Maimer of Hoye B'yam Hu Yitokah B'Shefer Godel. It's printed in Melukot Vov, right? Tavshin Nun Beis. Rosh Hashanah Tavshin Nun Beis, they printed the Maimer, the Rebbe said, Tavshin Chof Ches. The Hemshech to the Sheiches HaYomim, because they were the biggest Eirus Tshuva, right? The Rebbe said, was angefangen in the Shefer Godel, it says the Maimer, biggest Eirus came to bring in close to Yiddishkeit, Niftzat Film, Sturm, yeah. So in Chof Ches, on Parshas Noach, the Rebbe said, "Maimer hineni maybe oisom is suffering." Chof Ches Parshas Noach is Maimer hineni maybe oisom is suffering. Kibatz the mirar kazayoret. Pomir say, "Kol godly yeshuva hina." It's the Maimer of Shabbos Parshas Noach, Tavshin Chof Ches. And over there, Rebbe also asks what the 2 things are: Me'eretz Tzofin and Miyar Kasayoretz. Abraham will bring the Yidden from Eretz Tzofin and from Yar Kasayoretz. So he says that Al Derech Zeh, the other pasuk of Hoye B'yam Hu Yitokah B'Shefer Godel Bo Ha'evdim. It also says 2 types: Be'eretz Ashur and Yidochem Be'eretz Mitzrayim. There's 2 types of people. So he says that the 2 types of people are Golus. The 2 types of Golus are. One of them is that it's difficult for Yidden. They make it difficult for Yidden. Like Tzofin is Bovel. Bovel. It says, the Gemara says about Bovel is Tzofin. Mitzofin tipotach hara. Bovel is negative. They did terrible things to Yidden. There's the type of Golus that they make eng for Yidden. They make it difficult for Yidden. Then there's a different type of Golus that it's very good for Yidden, but they get verzunken in the Gashmis. They get verzunken in the Gashmis, and this way they get away. They go away from the Eibishter. Chas v'shalom. These are the 2 types. Also, it's Ashur and Mitzrayim. There's a Maimon from the Frierdiker Rebbe, and you say from in Yiddish that Mitzrayim is Mitzirim Yisrael. Ashur is Harchova, Gashmis, that takes them away from Torah mitzvahs. So these 2 types, Eibishter will be Kabetz, both types. Hini maybe as Meretz Tzofin. Even Eretz Tzofin. Eretz Tzofin is more difficult to take them out of there. And for sure, the Kibatz and Meyar Kasayoretz. Because Tzofin is, Miriam is on the worst klipa that's Menagit. Yar Kasayoretz is nicht Menagit, no, but then it's Golus, Helma has this. So, Hineni maybe is Meretz Tzofin. And for sure, the Kibatz and Meyar Kasayoretz. So, this is an interesting thing that it says in the Maimer here that Bovel is Tzofin. It says Mitzofin Tipotach. So this is really the Lubavitch Yeshiva is learning Gittin this year. So Masechta Gittin, the Mishnah talks about Me'aku L'Tzofin, Me'rekem L'Mizrach, or Me'aku L'Tzofin. It talks about different areas around Eretz Yisrael from where you have to say the Shliach who brings the guy has to say Fon Nechter, Fon Nechter. So the Gemara, the Avov Amdal from Gittin Gemara speaks about Bovel is Tzofin the Eretz Yisrael. Bovel is the north of Eretz Yisrael, Tzofin of Eretz Yisrael. And if so, how does it go along with Me'akul Tzofin? It's a discussion in the Gemara about Bovel. Bovel, it's Tzofin the Eretz Yisrael Kaima, because it says mitzofen tipotach, so Bavel is called Tzofen. So the question is, if you look on the map, Bavel is not in the Tzofen of Eretz Yisrael. The red Chemoshim have in the back a few maps. One of them, you'll see, Bavel is in Mizrach of Eretz Yisrael. Yam HaGodel is Ma'ariv, right? Yam HaGodel is all in the Ma'ariv. Bavel is parallel to the Yam HaGodel. It's across the midbar, and between the Yam HaGodel and Bavel is a big midbar. Across the midbar is Bavel. So why is the Gemara saying that Bavel is Tzfoin in Eretz Yisrael, and Eretz Tzofin refers to Bavel? It says in the Maimer, Eretz Tzofin is Bavel. Why is Bavel called Tzofin? So in the Yalkut Mefarshim, in the back of the Gemara, there's a shtickle from the Rabbi Yankiv Emden, the Yavitz. He says the reason is this: how do people go from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel? You don't go through the midbar. It's a very difficult journey. To go from the midbar, from Eretz Yisrael across the midbar to Bavel, it's a difficult journey. The way you go to Eretz Yisrael from Bavel is through Nahar Pros. How do you get to Nahar Pros? You go up to the Tzofan of Eretz Yisrael, and you go on Nahar Pros all the way down to Bavel. That's how they travel from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel. So since the way to get from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel is through the Tzofan of Eretz Yisrael, so it's called L'tzfoinish Eretz Yisrael kind of.
You take a boat?
Geographically, you take a boat, yeah. Geographically, it's not in the Tzofan of Eretz Yisrael. But how do you get there from Eretz Yisrael? Through the Tzofan. Therefore, it's called the Tzfoinish Eretz Yisrael kind of. This is interesting to Musik. In other words, it's not the gay avu that says it's be'etzim. The gay is what's a shaykhas with Eretz Yisrael. Where does it stand with Eretz Yisrael? How do you get to there from Eretz Yisrael? Through the Tzofan. So it's called the Tzfoinish Eretz Yisrael. It's a chalaf nem Hashem Tzofan, even though be'etzim it's not in Tzofan. It's chalaf nem Hashem Tzofan about the skate.
Didn't Shalom conquer all the way
Eretz Yisrael.
up until Bavel? They Shalom conquered all the way until the Euphrates River. Then
the Euphrates River on top, probably. On top.
It's by Bavel.
It starts.
Shalom made Eretz Yisraal into a triangle like this, out all the way out and back in. In other words, Eretz Yisrael right now is tall, right? But Shalom conquered all the way out until almost until Bavel. Past
I don't know.
Past
I don't know. Could be. I'm not sure.
Syria.
I don't know. I mean, on the side of Nahar Pros.
David conquered all the way there.
Look, if you get a chance, you look in the red Chamoshim in the back. It has a few pictures, maps, and one of them you'll see Bavel. You see that Bavel is parallel to the Yam HaGodel. It's across the Yam HaGodel. But the way to get there is you go up, you go Nahar Pros, all the way down. That's how you get there. So it's called the Tzfoinish Eretz Yisrael. It's also verbunden mit Eretz Yisrael. It goes Eretz Yisrael nu besteht Eretz Asher Hashem lekech deirish oisa. Tomit Eretz Hashem lekech ba. Fragt Rashi v'chi rak Eretz Yisrael deirish v'kol ha'arotz hu deirish. El kvayochel eine deirish ela oisa. And through Eretz Yisrael is kol ha'arotz is bakumen oisa. This is also the concept of Eretz Yisrael.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Eretz Yisrael ruling becoming more halachically structured, or is the laws of the land going more according to halacha is because it's closer to Mashiach, or it means nothing?
I don't know. Every Yid that comes closer is Eretz Yisrael is occupied by Yidden. It's all Yidden. So if anything that's going to accomplish that, more Yidden will come closer to Torah mitzvahs. Goes in that direction for sure. But with the etzem Indian that the government in Eretz Yisrael decides to be following halacha, is that a step towards Mashiach? I'm sure it is.
If you ever stopped writing halacha about the Gula in 1948, I'm pretty sure, or when they established the state of Israel, because apparently delayed Mashiach's coming. But the state of Israel, the state of Israel, really had to do with the fact. It has to do with taking Hashem out of everything, or having Yidden without the Eivishter. But what if you put the Eivishter back into Eretz Yisrael? Wouldn't that undo that?
Yeah, it sounds like it would be a very powerful thing. It sounds like it. Yeah. It is a good thing for sure. So practice it's a
also, you mentioned before about are we higher than the Dar of the Alter Rebbe? During the Alter Rebbe, the Alter Rebbe was very scared that Napoleon was going to win the war, right? What because he was concerned that the Yin at that time, Yin couldn't handle what Napoleon would bring. But I feel like in today's world, we have a lot worse than what Napoleon could bring, and yet we're sitting here today. So maybe in a certain sense, there's
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. On the individual level of Chassidim, to say that we're greater than the Alter Rebbe's Chassidim, I wouldn't say that. But
on an individual level, something else.
right on the general, on the Rebbe and what the Rebbe stands for, and we're the Rebbe's Chassidim. It's a higher level. The Rebbe is a higher level. The Rebbe is a higher level. No question about it.
Let me ask you a different question.
The Rebbe relates to us as we are little people, and he tries to bring us. We should be part of it. We should be part of the Rebbe's Inyan.
Being that Chof is the
Chof Chesvon, yeah.
Chof Chesvon is the Rebbe Rashab's birthday. What was the Rebbe's connection to the Rebbe Rashab in a certain sense? Because we see the Rebbe's connection to the Frierdiker Rebbe as like he considers him his Rebbe. But until the Rebbe was 18 years old, Rebbe Rashab was still Rebbe. So what? How does that?
The Rebbe Rashab gave instructions to the Rebbe's parents.
Right, but
right.
Are you saying that
Yeah.
the Rebbe wasn't connected to the Rebbe?
I'm saying no. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying how was the Rebbe?
You want to know how he was connected?
In other words, like what was the
You never
interaction
met.
like?
You never met the Rebbe.
That's what I'm saying. Well, what was the interaction like? In other words, the Rebbe never references the fact that there was any sort of connection there.
Well, he didn't see the Rabbein before that either. I mean, it's like the Rabbein before that. I mean,
It's not said itself out the Rebbe. I'm saying it's not.
the Rebbe didn't see them. I'm saying.
I understand it. I'm saying, but the Tzach spoke about, had a big connection to the Alter Rebbe. I think there was a dafka that the Rebbe Rashab didn't want to have a connection. There wasn't a.
That could be. The Rebbe didn't have a big goalie connection with the Rebbe Rashab. That could be. We don't know.
There's no like letter. There's no.
No. We don't know of any.
There's no interaction
of any official correspondence from the Rebbe Rashab. We don't know. I'm not the bookie, and they told us. The Sifriya told us, but I don't think.
Do you have any theories for why that might be?
Well, just like it's similar to the Alter Rebbe didn't see the Baal Shem Tov. I mean, he didn't. He was by the Baal Shem Tov, but he didn't.
It was 3.
How old was he when he passed away?
15.
He was 15.
Yeah. Wow. 15. The Rebbe.
There must have been some type of reason, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't
No, I know.
The Rebbe's father did see. The Rebbe's father did go to the Rebbe Rashab.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm surprised. How old was the Rebbe when the Rebbe Rashab passed?
So he said 18.
18. I'm saying I'm surprised that the Rebbe never went. It was done b'dafka. I mean, the Rebbe's brothers. Do we know if they went to the Rebbe Rashab or no? The Rebbe was the oldest. Okay.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
It was a nice day.
Did-
Childhood was not right today.
Did Rabbi Levi travel to the Rebbe Rashab after the Rebbe was already bar mitzvah, so to say? Did he travel? I don't know. Weiß nicht. I don't know.
Wasn't there.
But I don't think the Rebbe ever